Live from the Idaho Central Arena in Boise, Idaho, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the second of two preseason games between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Last night, the Grizzlies got a convincing 6-0 victory as they got 5-on-5 goals from Kyle Mayhew and Kyle Betts. Cade Jensen made it a 3-0 game as he scored a 4-on-4 goal. And in the third period, Dakota Raby had a shorthanded tally, and Jordan Martell and Cole Gallant each scored on the power play. So the Grizzlies scored four different ways and won 6-0 as Garrett Metcalf got a 39-save shutout. That's right, number 39. Got 39 saves in the Grizzlies' 6-0 victory. It was the Grizzlies' first meeting in Idaho Falls, and it almost looks like it's going to be a home away from home. Every year, the Grizzlies might just have to play every preseason game and maybe even a couple regular season games in Idaho Falls with the way they played last night. Grizzlies pretty much were going up with a lineup that they're going to go with in the regular season. Tonight, Josh Wesley and Keone Teixeira are notable absences to the Utah lineup, while the Steelheads have some guys who are veterans like Matt Register and A.J. White who weren't playing last night who are in there tonight. And Ty Pelton-Bice and Patrick Cudla are also in the Steelheads lineup. They did not play in last night's game. Should be a lot of fun here. It's a great atmosphere. Looks like the place is only having season ticket holders and, people that have ticket packages, even though it does look like there are some Grizzlies fans that snuck in here. Maybe they bought a Steelhead season ticket package just to make sure that they can watch the Grizzlies play in the preseason. Looks like they just ended up with warm-ups. We got an interesting goaltending matchup. The two backups last night are both going to be in there for their respective clubs. For the Grizzlies, that's Dante Giannuzzi making his pro debut with Utah. Giannuzzi played the last 5 years in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks, and the Steelheads are going with Brian Thompson. He's got an AHL contract with the Texas Stars. So it's going to be a lot of fun here. Obviously, the game's not going to count in the standings, but anytime you take the ice, you want to win. And for the Grizzlies, winning 6-0 was certainly a great first impression. And we'll see what happens here tonight as Idaho pretty much going with all their regulars, and the Grizzlies are without two key defensemen. And that was something I wanted to keep an eye out for going into last night's game. And even tonight, I want to see how the defensemen look, as after all, Kyle Mayhew played in the postseason and the last handful of regular season games. Jacob Semick will be in there tonight. He did not play last night. But other than that, it's pretty much an entire new defensive core. Corey Thomas missing his second straight preseason game, and he might end up missing the start of the regular season. So we're going to keep an eye on some of the new defensemen once again. Guys like Michael Underwood and Brian Yoon. We'll also see Jordan Stone in there. Stone played 24 games with the Grizzlies over the last 2 years. And it'll be interesting to see what Cade Jensen does tonight because he was absolutely outstanding. Not only did he score the 4-on-4 goal in the second period, but Jensen blocked one shot after another in the third frame. And he really made a physical impact. He's a big guy at 6'3" and 218 pounds. We'll see what Cade Jensen does here tonight. When we come back in 30 seconds, we will give you the lineups for both teams. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network as we're in business on a Saturday night for the second preseason game.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Let's get to the lineups for both teams. It's the pregame report here as we're in Boise, Idaho, at Idaho Central Arena. Last night, both teams were at Idaho Falls at Mountain America Center, and that was certainly a beautiful building. And here at Idaho Central Arena, it's really a nice, cozy environment. It seats about 5,200 or so. Idaho Central Arena was actually built in 1997 at about the same time that Maverick Center was built. So both arenas, pretty similar age. Looked like they got done with warm-ups a little bit later than normal, so it looks like face-off might be around 7:10 this evening for the second preseason game. Don't forget, these teams will meet 14 times during the regular season. Last year, it was 2 preseason games, 18 regular season contests, and 6 in the playoffs. This year, 2 preseason games and 14 in the regular season. And if it's anything like it is most years, Grizzlies might end up seeing the Steelheads in the playoffs. The team that the Grizzlies play the second most is going to be the Tulsa Oilers. Utah plays 5 games at home and 5 at BOK Center this season. And in fact, the Grizzlies start out with 7 straight home games, beginning with a 2-game set against the Tulsa Oilers. Next Saturday is the Grizzlies home opener. It's going to be a 7-10 face-off, and we hope to see a big crowd there. We know there's some football games that have some local interest going on around the same time. You can DVR the football games and come on down to Maverick Center and enjoy some opening night Grizzlies hockey with us. Don't forget there's going to be the second regular season game, and the second game of that 2-game set against Tulsa is going to be on Sunday, October 22nd at 3 o'clock. You're going to want to make sure you're at Maverick Center, and the Idaho Steelheads are in town for a 2-game set. The first AFCU Friday of the season will be 13 days from now on Friday, October 27th. And remember, with AFCU Fridays, tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And the Steelheads will also be there 2 weeks from now on Saturday, October 28th. And then the third week of the season, the Grizzlies have a bye. They don't play anybody that week. I think the Jonas brothers are going to be at Maverick Center, right? Although I don't think that's the reason why the Grizzlies have a bye the first weekend of November. And then the Wichita Thunder will be in town. The Grizzlies usually have a lot of success against Wichita. It's going to be a 3-game set. The first Bud Light College night of the season is going to be on Wednesday, November 8th, and the first of a 3-game set against Wichita. And then the Grizzlies will take on the Thunder on November 10th and 11th. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies actually only play Wichita 4 times this season. We mentioned Utah faces Idaho 14 times and Tulsa 10. Kansas City and Rapid City will each face the Grizzlies 9 times in the regular season. Utah will host Kansas City for 3 games and play 6 games over at Cable Dahmer Arena. And Utah has 6 home games against Rapid City, and they only have 1 3-game road trip at the Monument in Rapid City in March. So the Grizzlies only go to Rapid City once in the regular season. Utah will face the Allen Americans 7 times this year, 3 at home and 4 on the road. Utah will face Newfoundland 6 times. That's right, because geographically, Utah and Newfoundland certainly makes sense to have them face each other 6 times. 3 at Maverick Center. I think that's going to be Thanksgiving weekend, and then 3 at Newfoundland in the first week of January. Grizzlies will have 4 games against the Wichita Thunder, which is a divisional opponent, and certainly interesting. You only face a divisional opponent 4 times in this particular league. 3 at Maverick Center and 1 on the road. We mentioned that 3-game set in the second week of November. That's going to be November 8th, 10th, and 11th. The Grizzlies will face Iowa 3 times. That's going to be the first 3 road games for the Grizzlies this season. Make a note, the first road game of the year is actually going to be on November 15th. It's going to be a 9:35 morning game, a 10:35 local start over in Iowa. I imagine it's going to be one of those games. You got a field trip and a bunch of kids in attendance. Fort Wayne, 3 road games, and then 3 home games against Wheeling and the Norfolk Admirals. So it's going to be a fun schedule for the Grizzlies. You're going to want to come on down to Maverick Center. If the Grizzlies play anything like they did last night, looks like it's going to be a fun season. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com or call 801-988-8000. That's 801-988-8000. You don't want to miss Grizzlies hockey this season. Remember, the Grizzlies will be home 10 of the first 13 games of the year, and you're going to want to see the Grizzlies in action. See the new players like Josh Wesley, Keone Texera. Both guys are out of the Grizzlies lineup tonight. Let's get to the lineup. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, led by third-year head coach Ryan Kanasowicz. His assistant in his first year with the Grizzlies is Christian Horn. Horn was a player for the Grizzlies, 1 game in the 2019-2020 season. He would have made a big contribution for the Grizzlies in the final month of the regular year had the season not been canceled. And then he played in 24 games for the Grizzlies back in the 2020-21 season. The equipment manager is Jackson Hibbert in his first year, and the athletic trainer is Colin Lee. In net for the Grizzlies tonight is Dante Giannuzzi. He'll be wearing number 73. Last year with Portland in the WHL, in 41 games, he had a record of 23, 13, and 5 with a 3.33 goals against average and 894 save percentage. In his 5 seasons with Portland, he had a record of 59, 32, and 10 with a 3.07 goals against average and 896 save percentage. He also had 5 shutouts during his 109-game WHL career. He was in camp with the AHL's Manitoba Moose for about a week and just joined the club yesterday. And he'll be wearing number 73. He's listed at 6'1" and 190 pounds. It'll be fun to see what he does. After all, Garrett Metcalf really set the tone last night with his 39-save shutout. Interesting to note, we've been talking about the goaltending situation and who the Grizzlies possibly could get from Colorado. It's interesting to note that in the Colorado Eagles season opener, the AHL affiliate of the Grizzlies, Trent Miner got the start in net for Colorado, and he stopped 22 of 25. So it's possible that Trent Miner has earned a spot with Colorado, and he might be with the Eagles for the majority of this season. And we're certainly rooting on Trent Miner, who is the Grizzlies' all-time shutout king with 11 clean sheets in a Grizzlies uniform. And remember, he had the shutout against Idaho in Game 1 of the first-round playoff series this past season, and he started all 6 games for the Grizzlies in the series, and even in the 4 defeats. He did a good job of forcing overtime, and Idaho did win the 4 straight overtime games, but Trent Miner was outstanding for the Grizzlies, and when he's got his A game on, nobody can score on him. And so for Trent Miner, he got the start for Colorado in the season opener, which is notable considering usually in the first game of a season, you're going to go with your best guy. And Trent Miner might just very well be the Colorado Eagles' best guy to start the regular season. Giannuzzi will get the start in net. Garrett Metcalf will be the backup. Looks like 18 skaters on both teams tonight. Normally in the regular season, it's just 17 skaters per side. But for the Grizzlies, they've got 12 forwards and 6 defensemen this evening. The top forward line, as was the case last night, 3 returning players and 3 guys who I expect to have big seasons for Utah. Dakota Raby had a shorthanded goal last night. He had 11 goals in 55 games last season. He'll be in there wearing number 22. Brandon Cutler, who at times can be absolutely outstanding. He's on a 2-way AHL contract. He'll be wearing number 29. Cutler listed at 6'1" and 195 pounds. He had 30 points in 32 games last season for Utah, 15 goals and 15 assists. And the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who had 44 points in 45 regular season games for the Grizzlies last year. Watch out for the Rooster when the Grizzlies are on the power play. He had a power play goal last night, and it looks like he's going to be a key finisher for the Grizzlies all season long. Looks like Martell, assuming he plays enough games with Utah, can end up with a 20-plus goal-scoring season. Second-line forwards for the Grizzlies tonight. Jared Power, number 19. He had 1 goal in 16 games for the Grizzlies last year. He was number 20 with Utah, and he'll be wearing number 19 for the Grizzlies this season. Kyle Betts scored Utah's second goal last night. Betts in 5 regular season games for the Grizzlies last year had 6 assists, and he was also a key contributor in the playoff series last year against Idaho, where he had 3 goals and 3 assists, and he's got a great shooting percentage. He doesn't necessarily take a ton of shots, but he does get a good quality of looks, as he was 3 for 11 shooting in the playoff series. And we'll also see Cole Gallant, and I'm excited to see him once again. He'll be wearing number 25. Gallant scored Utah's 6th goal, which was a power play tally late in the third period last night. Gallant had a really good college career at Western Michigan University last season in 39 games with Western Michigan. He had 6 goals and 18 assists and a plus 17 rating. So watch out for Cole Gallant. It was certainly a big-time pickup for Ryan Kanasowicz last week, getting his rights from the ECHL's Trois-Rivières Lions. That's the second-line forwards, Power, Betts, and Gallant. Third line tonight, Mick Messner, who was one of Utah's best forwards last night. He's somebody that's got, he looks a little bit faster this year. Looks like he came into camp in great shape. And Mick Messner looks like he's going to have a pretty good year in his first season as a pro. He spent the last 3 years at Merrimack College. Before that, spent 2 seasons at the University of Wisconsin. Messner, in 6 games last year, had a +1 rating. Last season with Merrimack, he had 5 goals and 4 assists and a +6 rating in 35 games. Tyler Penner is in there once again because, of course, Tyler Penner's in there. He's appeared in every game for the Grizzlies since he started the 2021-22 season. Dylan Fitz will be in there once again. Fitz has been an Iron Man of sorts, as he hasn't missed a game since he was acquired by the Grizzlies in a trade for Brian Bowen on March 22nd of 2022. Fitz had an assist, a main assist on the Dakota Raby shorthanded goal last season. In 72 games, he had 17 goals and 21 assists and a -22 rating. But last season, since about February 15th, Fitz had a positive plus-minus rating for the Grizzlies, and he's going to be a key contributor. And Penner and Fitz are each going to be team leaders for the Grizzlies all season. Fourth line forwards, Dylan Stewart, who spent the last 5 seasons at the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, NAIT. He had a big year for them last year where he had 29 points, 10 goals, 19 assists in 24 games. He'll be wearing number 3, and he's got good size at about 6'2" and 209 pounds. Adine Yakura is going to be in there for the Grizzlies. Yakura spent 2 games with Greenville last year, and he had 2 assists in 8 games with Norfolk. He's got 61 games of ECHL experience over 6 different seasons and 216 SPHL games in 7 different years. Yakura is 38 years old. We'll also see Cameron Cook, the Lightning fast forward, who's going to be wearing number 14. Cook last year in the SPHL in 29 games had 9 goals and 17 assists. He also spent 2 games with Savannah and 16 games with the 12 Riviera Lions. So that's the 12 forwards for the Grizzlies tonight. Raby, Cutler, and Marta are the top line. Power, Betts, and Gallant are the second line. Third line forwards, Messner, Penner, and Fitz. And the fourth line is Stewart, Yakura, and Cam Cook. There will be a quiz on that during the first intermission. 6 defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight. Jacob Semick makes his preseason opener. He did not play in last night's game. He played his college hockey at Arizona State University. In 13 games, he had 3 assists last season and now also had 15 shots. So he's looking for his first pro goal. At ASU over the last 5 years, he played in 134 games and scored 30 points, 3 goals, and 27 assists. He'll be paired up with Kyle Mayhew, who scored Utah's first goal last night. Mayhew, an ultra-talented defenseman, but he's going to be with his backup stick as he broke a stick during the warm-ups, taking a shot about halfway through the warm-up session. Mayhew will be wearing number 6, and he's a proven winner as he was part of DU's 2022 National Championship Club. Cade Jensen and Michael Underwood are the second defensive pairing. Jensen was a standout performer for the Grizzlies last night, and I think Michael Underwood's going to be a steady performer as he was in his college days last year at Michigan State, and before that, 4 seasons at Clarkson University. Brian Yoon's going to be in there, last season's captain at Colorado College. He'll be wearing number 4. He is 5'11" and 175 pounds. And he'll be paired up with Jordan Stone, the former Utah outlier. Stone, the last 2 years, has played in 24 games for the Grizzlies. He was number 19 for the Grizzlies before, and he's wearing number 15 for the Grizzlies here in the preseason. So the 6 defensemen, Semick and Mayhew, as well as Jensen, Underwood, Yoon, and Stone with Dante Giannuzzi in net. Let's get to the lineup of the homestanding Idaho Steelheads, who are led by last year's Coach of the Year, Everett Sheen. As looks like face-off will be shortly here as the lights are off. The referee is on the ice right now. Now the Grizzlies take the ice wearing the white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim. A similar look, if not the exact same look that they had last year. Idaho sporting a new black jersey with white numbers and silver on the shoulder, silver on the bottom of the jerseys with a black stripe about waist high. They've also got black pants, and the socks kind of a silverish look with a little bit of black, with the one black stripe around the knee. And so it's a good, sharp uniform matchup tonight. Starting in net for Idaho is Brian Thompson. He has not played for the Steelheads before. It will be his Idaho debut, even though it is the preseason. He's 6'5" and 183 pounds. He's got an AHL contract with the Texas Stars. Last season, he played with the Lethbridge Hurricanes of the WHL. He is only 21 years old, out of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Starting lineup for the Steelheads, they're on the ice right now. It looks like Jade Miller's in the starting lineup for Idaho. Jack Becker and Willie Neerum. Becker wearing number 27, Neerum number 29. Matt Register is starting at one defensive spot for the Steelheads. He was the 3-ice defenseman of the year last season. He'll be paired up with Seamus Donahue. Donahue making his home debut with Idaho. He played overseas last season, a native of North Oaks, Minnesota. So starting defensive pairing for Idaho is Register and Donahue. The other defensive pairing we'll see tonight, and really a key one for the Steelheads, is Patrick Kubla and Cody Haskinen. Kubla did not play last night, but he was a standout performer for Idaho last year. And Haskinen brings a lot of size and savvy to the position, as he is 6'4" and 205 pounds. We'll also see the fast one, Nick Canati, in there, as well as Cooper Jones. So 6 defensemen for Idaho. Register, Donahue, Kubla, Haskinen, as well as Canati and Cooper Jones. We mentioned the starting forwards for Idaho, Jade Miller, Jack Becker, and Willie Neerum. We will also see Colton Keller in there. Keller plays a physical brand of hockey, 51 games last year, 14 goals and 11 assists. A.J. White did not play last night, but he's in there this evening. In 70 games last year, he had 20 goals and 29 assists and a plus 32 rating. And Giannis Vandenberg's also in there as well. He had 13 goals last season. We'll also see Matt Rassel making his home debut for Idaho. Rassel, somebody that's got a good pedigree in this league, had a good year with Fort Wayne. He'll be wearing number 92. Ty Pelton-Bice is in there, as well as Wade Murphy. We'll also see Aaron Aragon and Nick Nardella and Zane Franklin for the Steelheads as well. Everybody's standing here at Idaho Central Arena, and let's pause for our national anthem here on a Saturday night, the second preseason game.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran the bombs bursting through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave. Oh, the land of the free and the home of progress.
Now is our national anthem here at Idaho Central Arena as Grizzlies take on the Steelheads for the second preseason game. Utah won 6-0 last night. We'll see what happens here this evening. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies, Dakota Raby, Brandon Cutler, and the Rooster, Jordan Martell. Starting defensive pairing is Kyle Mayhew wearing number 6 and Jacob Semick wearing number 17. Last year, Semick was number 40. Looks like John Lindner is the referee for the second straight game as he traveled separately from both teams. And it looks like Scott DeBaugh, one of the linesmen. I didn't actually get the names of the linesmen. I think Scott DeBaugh is going to be one of them. It's the normal linesman that you see here in Boise. It looks like a really good crowd is filing in here, as I think they just let people that had ticket packages, even though it looks like some Grizzlies fans actually bought some Steelheads ticket packages and found their way in the building here tonight. Utah will be skating from left to right as we see it from high atop section 203 here at Idaho Central Arena. Idaho will be skating from our right to our left with Dante Giannuzzi in net for Utah and Brian Thompson for Idaho. Lindner raises his left arm. Cutler will take the face-off against Jack Becker. He drops the puck, and Utah wins it. We're underway here in Boise. Mayhew goes with an east-west pass to Semick. Now they move it ahead to neutralize for Raby. He gets hit. Puck goes back to Semick. Semick drops it off for Cutler. East-west pass to Mayhew, deep in the Grizzlies zone, as they'll get it ahead to Raby. Raby with good speed gets neutralized. He crosses the center red line. Now he crosses the blue. Raby gets the left circle, centers it to Martell. Shot goes wide. Now Martell backhand shot, saved by Thompson, and the puck goes towards the far wing boards. Matt Register back behind his net. He's got an ultra-long stick and knows how to use it. As the Steelheads get over to Donahue, who throws it towards Jack Becker, pass incomplete. As looked like he did his best Keaton Slovis impersonation from earlier today. Incomplete pass gets an icing call for Idaho, and we get our first whistle 40 seconds into the game. Well, I feel bad for those BYU fans. That was certainly a tough one to watch today. As Cole Gallant's on the ice, taking the face-off is Kyle Betts, and Jared Power out there as well, as Michael Underwood and Cade Jensen are on the ice for Utah. Same 5 for Idaho, 40 seconds in. Becker will take the draw against Betts, and Betts wins the face-off as he'll throw it to the left point for Cade Jensen. Jensen fires a shot. It glanced off the stick of Willie Nerum. The puck bounces off the end boards. Register throws it towards Nerum, who gets held up by Jensen. Power gets the puck, and he'll throw it towards Michael Underwood. He feeds it to neutralize. It bounced off a Becker's stick. Kyle Betts gets it. A left wing pass over to Power. Power steps over the line, drops off for Gallant, who's towards the far corner as the puck goes towards Power, but he gets held up by Register as A.J. White moves it ahead. Gallant keeps it in the right point over to Underwood, who spins along the wall. Register cuts it off behind Idaho's net. He'll feed it across to Cody Heiskanen, who gets it to Colton Keller. He couldn't reach it. And the whistle blows as icing is on Idaho for the second time here so far. 18:39 left in the first. Grizzlies have taken one shot. Idaho's yet to take one. Everybody make your pick to click as to who's going to be the player of the game. If you're a Steelheads fan, make a pick for the Idaho player you think is going to contribute best. For me, I think Tyler Penner is going to have a big game for Utah. He's my pick to click. He'll be taking the face-off right now with Dylan Fitz to his right and Mick Messner to his left. Messner wearing number 10. Up top, Brian Yoon gets over to Jordan Stone. Stone takes a righty shot, and it gets patted away over towards the near boards. A lot of traffic out in front of the net as Idaho, Cody Heiskanen throws to register. As he skates around Idaho's net, he feeds it towards A.J. White. Puck bounced off his ankle and goes over towards Brian Yoon, who tries to get to center ice. He gets held up by Register as Penner throws it back into the Grizzlies zone for Stone, who throws a right wing pass near the Grizzlies bench to Dylan Fitz. Svanenbergs holds up Stone. Now puck goes back over towards Brian Yoon, wearing number 4. Left wing pass to Messner, who crosses center ice with speed. Messner gets to the Idaho blue line and dumps it in as Messner chases after it. Patrick Kudla, number 47, gets it for Idaho. Kudla had an outstanding year last year, feeds it to Heiskanen. Now ahead to Mark Raskol as he enters the zone, but offside are the Steelheads. And so we've had a few whistles here as we're 2:08 into the game, 17:52 left in the first. Still no score. Idaho's yet to take a shot on Dante Giannuzzi, the former Portland Winterhawk. Spent a couple years in Portland as a teammate with former Grizzly forward Mason Manick, the Harriman, Utah native. Dean Yakura will take the draw against Ty Pelton-Bice, who scored some big goals against the Grizzlies last year. Utah wins the draw as Dylan Stewart, number 3, gets towards center ice, tried to dump it in, bounced off a Kudla stick. Stewart skates towards the corner. He gets hit by Kudla. Puck goes to Pelton-Bice. He'll feed it towards Mark Rassel, Rassell. Rassel wearing number 92. Throws it towards Heiskanen, who moves it ahead to neutral ice. Bice battles with Stewart. East-west pass connects. Rassel skates down the middle. He'll drop it off for Kudla. Lefty shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. And he holds on. Bobbled it for a second, did Giannuzzi, but he was able to cover up as Idaho gets the first look, and it was a grade A chance by Kudla down the middle, and Giannuzzi was able to make the save. In watching the highlights of Dante Giannuzzi, looks like he's got pretty good quickness. And in the highlights I've seen displayed a pretty good glove. Last night, Garrett Metcalf really set a good standard for the season and really set a tone with a 39-save shutout. Idaho gets Nick Nardella on the ice with Aaron Aragon and Zane Franklin. Taking the draw for Utah's Brandon Cutler. The Grizzlies have their top forward line on the ice. Michael Underwood out there with Cade Jensen. Cutler's kicked out of the face-off circle. The Rooster, Jordan Martell, will take the draw. And the draw won by Martell as he'll get it to Cade Jensen. Now towards Underwood. Now Jensen gets it back down the middle as he skates into neutral ice. He'll feed it to the left side for Cutler. A glance off his stick and flies into the Steelhead zone as Thompson plays behind his net and rolls it towards the near side. Cooper Jones holds up Dakota Raby. Now goes to Nick Canati with good speed. He'll skate towards the right wing. Lefty shot. Bounces off the stick of Cade Jensen and rolls towards the end boards. Puck goes to Nick Nardella, number 10. As he rolls into the corner, Aragon couldn't hold it. Grizzlies come back skating from left to right. Martell, east-west pass to Raby. He couldn't reach it. Cutler joins the play. He gets the puck. He gets hit by Nick Canati. Fans like that. Canati with the puck skates down the middle in the Steelhead zone. Now he's at neutral ice. Canati fakes a pass, and he throws to the right for Franklin. He glanced off his stick, and Giannuzzi plays it back at the Utah goal line. Giannuzzi throws it around his net. Franklin loses the puck as Cole Gallant gets it. Gallant, the Western Michigan product, skates down the middle, crosses center ice. Now he enters the zone. Skates towards the left corner. He gets pushed by Donahue as goes back to Idaho. Steelhead skate from right to left. No score. Jade Miller, left side. Feeds it towards Becker, but he couldn't reach it about chest high. Becker back behind the goal line. Battles with Jordan Stone. Now Becker skates towards the far side. Hume pokes it away, and Raby gets the puck. Raby skates towards center ice. Grizzlies don't have numbers, so Raby tried to dump it in. It was cut off by Register at the Idaho blue line. As the Steelheads throw it back towards Jade Miller. He crosses center ice. Miller, right wing pass to Becker. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. And he holds on as Idaho with a couple good looks, but Giannuzzi 2 for 2 so far. As good look there by Jack Becker on the right side. Previously, it was Patrick Cutler with a good look down the middle. Grizzlies without a couple key defensemen tonight, Josh Wesley and Keone Teixeira, the two guys with a designated veterans distinctions, over 260 games of pro experience for both guys. They certainly look like they're going to be key contributors in the regular season. Utah wins the draw as Power dumps all the way deep in the Steelhead zone. Kudla cuts it off as he'll throw it towards new tries for Colton Keller near the Steelheads bench. He'll get to Spanenbergs. He'll dump it in after crossing center ice. Giannuzzi, number 73, throws it to Semick on the far side. Semick chips ahead for Power. Bounced off the boards. Power gets it near Idaho's bench. He gets pushed by A.J. White, but Power's able to dump it in. And he'll get off the ice for a change as Penner and Fitz enters. Patrick Cutler throws to the right side for A.J. White. White bobbles the puck, gets it back. Drops off for Haskinen to new tries. Haskinen dumps it in. Rolls around the boards. Keller gets cut off by Mayhew. Semick gets hit by Keller, who plays a physical two-way game. Bice trying to find Keller, and it's picked off by Mayhew. He throws it to center ice. Penner, left wing, dumps it in. Thompson has it glance off his stick towards the near corner. As looked like they were looking for Fitz was Messner. He couldn't connect. Still, let's come back the other way. Idaho in the attack zone as Wade Murphy skates the far goal line, now around the net, looking for a wraparound, and Giannuzzi cut it off. Murphy back along the near corner, rolls it back to Pelton Bice as Bice being shadowed by Mick Messner. They'll throw it up top for Cooper Jones, does Bice. Jones fires towards the net. It ricochets off the end boards, and Giannuzzi is able to cover up along the far goal line as we get a whistle with 14:41 left in the first. Still no score. Steelheads are responded with 2 or 3 shots after Utah had the first good look of the night. 14 regular season meetings for the Grizzlies and Steelheads this year. Don't forget to get your tickets for the 2-game set at Maverick Center, October 27th and 28th. That's games 3 and 4 for the Grizzlies in the regular year. Utah wins the draw in the defensive zone as Cameron Cook skates out to neutralize. East-west pass towards Dylan Stewart, who dumps it in. Stewart gets held up by Cooper Jones, number 21. As Canati battles with Cameron Cook, Steelheads gather at Wade Murphy. Skates towards neutralize, tried to find Bice, pass behind him. Underwood moves it ahead towards Yakura. Now back towards Underwood. He's paired up with Cade Jensen tonight. Now Cameron Cook crosses center ice. He gets it poked away by Nardella. As a lot of action here as Aragon gains the offensive line and gets held up by Yakura. Aragon dumps it in. Nardella pushes Brian Yoon. Nardella, who had a good game last night, will throw it towards Franklin, sporting a beard. Franklin throws it towards the right point, but Donahue was skating the other way. Idaho's just been a little bit off on their passes all weekend. Idaho gets it back. Donahue gets a new try. So it crosses the center red line and wraps it around the boards. It looked like it hit off the protective netting and flies out of play as it ends up in row 1 of section 16, it looks like. Or maybe that's section 6. As there's 13:45 left in the first period. Here in the second preseason game, normally this would be a stoppage of play and a TV timeout. Looks like we're just going to have one media timeout per period. Cutler will take the neutral zone draw near Utah's bench. Nick Nardella will take it for Idaho. Nardella last season played at Michigan Tech University, and in this league played with Cincinnati and Iowa. Steelheads win the face-off as Register throws it to Aragon. Left point, lefty shot. Glove saved by Giannuzzi. He holds on with 13:38 left in the first. As Giannuzzi will skate towards the bench. We got a timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. We're back in 30 minutes and 30 seconds after this word from Rio Tinto.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
13:38 left in the first period. Still no score. Idaho's taken 2 shots. Utah's taken 1. Draws game in the Grizzlies zone. Brandon Cutler will take it against Nick Nardella. Grizzlies won 6-0 last night in those same white jerseys with white numbers and professional green trim. Idaho in a black jersey with kind of silver on the shoulders. Kind of resembles the Oakland Raiders a little bit, or the Las Vegas Raiders. They're working on a piece of ice near the face-off circle. The face-off dot is a Pepsi logo. That reminds me, Utah Grizzlies hockey brought to you by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company, as well as America First Credit Union in the first AFCU Friday of the regular season. will be against the Idaho Steelheads 13 days from now on October 27th. And the drop, won by the Grizzlies. It goes to the corner. Stone moves ahead to Martell, couldn't reach it. Register feeds the middle from the left point. It's cut off by Cutler, who clears it out. Register gets it back in the Steelhead zone. He'll throw it around the net towards Seamus Donahue. Donahue, number 24, loses the puck. Raby gathers it and drops it off for Cutler. Cutler throws it to the high slot. The only guy there was Nardella. Problem, he plays for Idaho. Franklin throws it towards the middle. Stone cuts it off. Nardella picks it off. Nardella skated towards the left circle, and it's poked away by Yoon. Now it goes to Martell, over to Cutler. Cutler gets the center ice 3-on-2. Cutler veers off to the left as he steps over the offensive line, and the Grizzlies are offside. Some pushing after the whistle as Matt Register and Brandon Cutler have some words. 13:03 left in the first. Draw is going to come to neutral ice. Looked like Cutler skated towards the left side, and the Grizzlies were offside. Then after the whistle, looked like Idaho's Donahue decided to push Brandon Cutler. Remember, Cutler had a confrontation with, I believe, Donahue in last night's game. Zane Franklin tried to break things up and talk with Cutler. Draws it neutral ice on the left side. Kyle Betts will take the face off, but it's won by Jack Becker in Idaho. As Cutler throws it towards Heiskanen, he'll pass it to Becker on the right wing. Becker gains the offensive line and gets cut off by Betts. Grizzlies move it ahead. Cole Gallant gets it. He doesn't have numbers, so he'll just veer off to the right point, feed it towards the middle, looking for power. But Heiskanen picks it off and throws it towards Jade Miller. Miller challenged by Kyle Betts deep in the Steelhead zone in the corner. He gets over to Kudla. Kudla gets to neutral ice, gets around Kyle Betts. Kudla gains center or around that, dumps it in. Giannuzzi plays it behind his net. Fires it towards the far side. Goes to Cudla on the right point. He'll take a lefty shot on it. Got redirected by a stick and rolls towards the near corner. I think it was actually Giannuzzi's stick. As Power tosses to the near side, it goes to Gallant. Gallant gains the line 1-on-4. He falls down to the Idaho blue line, helped out by Willie Nerum. Idaho gets it back. Cudla back at the Idaho goal line, communicates with Brian Thompson, the Idaho goaltender. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. 8 minutes in, still no score. Cudla back behind Idaho's net, still at skating from right to left here in the first period. Cudla feeds it ahead to Cooper Jones, blue line to blue line past A.J. White, flies off a White stick, rolls along the boards. Giannuzzi throws to the near side as Spanenbergs holds up Underwood. Michael is first name. Dylan Fitz throws it to the right point. White keeps it in. He'll feed it back to the corner where Jensen plays it as Fitz gets pushed by Keller and goes back to A.J. White. White's right side. He'll skate towards his left. He'll take a shot, and it's blocked by Jensen. Puck goes back to the high slot. Keller feeds it to the near corner. Spanenberg chases it. Underwood gets there first. He'll throw it to the left point. Kanadi with a shot, and it's blocked. And taking it, Spanenberg's righty shot goes wide. Grizzlies clear it out. Kanadi plays at the Idaho blue line about 9 minutes in. Still no score. Idaho with a 3-1 shot edge. As Cooper Jones looked for A.J. White. He didn't get a piece of it, so icing is on the Steelheads as we get a whistle with 11:09 left in the first. I will say, if they're just letting in season ticket holders and people who bought ticket packages in the building tonight, there's a lot of people that got ticket packages for the Steelheads, and that includes some Grizzlies fans who are in attendance behind Utah's bench. Maybe they bought a ticket package for the Steelheads. Probably just so they can see the Grizzlies and make sure they get a ticket when the Grizzlies are here. Place holds about 5,300. Utah wins the draw. Left point, Brian Yoon, righty shot. Saved by Thompson, and he holds on. That's Utah's second shot of the game, but it's the Grizzlies' first shot in about 8 minutes. In fact, both sides haven't seen a whole lot of shots. Looks like there's a lot more physicality to tonight's game, and after losing 6-0, you know the Steelheads are going to put together a much better effort, especially here on home ice. Grizzlies win the draw. Actually, Idaho wins the draw as Register throws to Mark Rassel at the Idaho blue line. Rassel moves ahead to Donahue at center ice, right wing, and he'll wrap it around the boards. Pelton Bice, who didn't play last night, as it glanced off his stick into the high slot. Cameron Cook with a left wing pass to Yakura. Yakura gets the line, dumps it towards Stewart and Brian Yoon. Idaho takes it away. 2-on-2. Bice throws it to Wade Murphy. Right side, righty shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. And he holds on. 4 shots seen by Giannuzzi, and he stopped them all. And he's done a good job of controlling the rebounds. That was a particularly good look by Wade Murphy just outside the right circle. And he had a lot of steam on that shot, but Giannuzzi just gathered it, just kind of corralling the puck, almost bear hugging the puck, if you will. 10:40 left in the first. Bice will take the draw against Brandon Cutler. Scott DeBaugh, the linesman, drops the puck, and Mark Rassel gets it as Idaho win the draw. And Rassel loses it. Good defensive play by Jacob Semick. As Mayhew left wing pass to Semick, it glanced off of his stick. Idaho comes back the other way. They're looking for Bice. He couldn't connect as the passing's been a bit sloppy on both sides here early on. As Mayhew towards the left side feeds it across to Raby. It glances off of his skate and gets to Matt Register. Up ahead to Bice. He gets it towards the right side. Bice challenged by Mayhew. They look to center it. It bounced off his stick and rolls towards Giannuzzi, who gets it on one hop of the ice as he covers up with 10-11 left in the first. So we're about halfway through the first period. Idaho's outshot Utah 5-2. And really a good start for Giannuzzi. He was able to make the first few saves and looks like he's settling in here. Cutler will take the draw against Nick Nardella. Nardella, we mentioned last season, played at Michigan Tech University, 24 years old, from Rosemont, Illinois. Draw won by Cutler and the Grizzlies as Jacob Semick behind his net battles with Franklin. Franklin takes it away, and the puck rolls towards the near boards. Martell gets it, throws it between the legs of Raby, who chases after it. Martell and Franklin collide. Martell wants a call, none to be had. Idaho comes back the other way. Heiskanen, left wing pass to Aragon. He couldn't reach it. Now Mayhew moves it ahead towards Kyle Betts, wearing number 61, and it's taken by Nardella. Nardella gains the line, fires a shot. Kick saved by Giannuzzi. Puck goes to the near corner. As Jordan Martell, the Rooster, gets it. He settles it. He's wearing number 27. Martell skates to neutralize, drops off of the Utah blue line for Underwood. Blue line to blue line pass connects with Raby, who gets it back to Underwood. Underwood left side fires the bet. Shot saved by Thompson. Idaho clears it out to center. Boy, good look there by the Grizzlies. Great pass by Underwood. East-west pass to Gallant, doesn't connect. It's taken by Jack Becker, who throws it towards Nearham, skating down the middle. He feeds it over to the left side for Miller, drops off for Canadi. Canadi in the left wing near the point. Now he skates towards his right, drops off for Becker just outside the left circle. Back to Canadi, one-timer, and it's blocked by Gallant. And we get a whistle. Well, there's some pushing and shoving out in front of the crease, and it looks like a penalty is going to be called as Cade Jensen, Jade Miller, and Kyle Betts reach battling. Miller's arguing his case. It looks like Utah is going on the power play, and Jade Miller will get 2 minutes for cross-checking. 9:01 left in the first period. So Utah goes on the power play for the first time tonight. They had 2 power play goals in last night's game. Idaho's outshot Utah 6-3, and when we return in 30 seconds, we will give you Utah's first power player. Still no score here on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm. And our lights on. It's the power behind the team. And a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
First power play of the game goes to the Grizzlies as Jade Miller got 2 minutes for cross-checking. 9:01 left in the first. Idaho's outshot Utah 6-3. Dakota Raby is in the left wing. Cutler will take the face-off. Martell and Mayhew up top. Kyle Betts looks like he's also in there on the right wing. Taking the draw is Spanenbergs for Idaho. He wins the face-off, throws it to Register, who sails it off the near glass and glides all the way towards Giannuzzi behind Utah's net. Dylan Fitz is in there and not Kyle Betts as Kyle Mayhew gets the puck as he skates down the middle. He gets the Utah blue line, now crosses center ice with speed. Mayhew gains the offensive line with ease. He gets tripped up by Register. Mayhew fires the low liner towards the net, and Thompson gathers it and covers up in the crease as the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 1:38 left in the power play. Still no score, 8:39 left in the first. Face off in the right circle. Jordan Martell will take it. A.J. White takes the draw for Idaho. White, the veteran, has been a captain of Idaho for the last handful of years. Draw won by the Grizzlies. Cutler on the right point gets to Mayhew, who's down to the high slot. Back to Cutler, who skates towards the right circle. Cutler drops it off for Raby. Now back to Mayhew, high slot. Gets over to Cutler, right circle. Cutler feeds it to Martell, but the pass is wide, and Martell has to gather it off the boards. Martell back to Cutler on the right side. Cutler throws it to the near goal line for Raby. Back to Cutler, give and go shot. And he didn't get much on it. And Matt Register gathers it and clears it out. Boy, good idea there on the give and go from Raby to Cutler. Cutler just didn't get much on the shot. Grizzlies will get some new skaters on the ice as Mayhew gets to the Utah blue line, drops it off for Martell. Martell gets to center ice, feeds over to Kyle Betts. Betts skates towards the left circle. He's being shadowed by Heiskanen. As Betts behind Idaho's net loses the puck, Bice battles with Martell in the corner. Grizzlies get it up top for Mayhew. Mayhew over to Cole Gallant in the right point. He feeds it towards the middle for Betts. Back to Mayhew. Now to Martell. One-timer. Saved by Thompson. Rebound goes out towards the far side. Utah skating from left to right here in the first period. Martell over to Mayhew in the left point. 35 seconds left in the power play. Mayhew skates towards the left side. Shots blocked by the stick of Jack Becker, who gathers it and clears it out. Idaho makes a line change. Grizzlies will get some new skaters on the ice as Underwood replaces Mayhew. Brian Yoon on the ice as well. 2 defensemen for the Grizzlies on this power play shift. As Underwood drops it off for Yoon. He gets over to Betts. Yoon fanned on a pass. Glides towards neutral ice for Underwood, who gets it and throws it back to Yoon. Yoon glides it over towards Cole Gallant at neutral ice. He gets it taken away by Aragon, who will bounce it off of Messner. And it goes back to Yoon. 3 seconds left in the power play, and the Steelheads are back at full strength. Utah 0-for-1 on the power play tonight. We're still scoreless. Gallant carries it into the zone, tried to center it to Yakura, and it's picked off by Donahue, who taps it off the glass towards center ice. Underwood dumps it in. Register will skate towards it on the far corner. He gets it and skates around Idaho's net. As Register throws it to the right wing for Nardella, who gets to center ice, and he dumps it in. Nardella chases after it. Stone gets there first, throws it towards Semick. Now back to Dylan Stewart in the far corner in the Grizzlies zone. Stewart lifts it out to center ice. The wobbling puck goes to the center red line. Nick Canati throws it to Nardella, who fumbles it near the Grizzlies bench, and he's held up with Stone. 2-on-2 battle. Stone getting very physical with Nardella as Cameron Cook gets it after Utah won the battle. As Semick moves ahead to Stewart, he gets cut off by Cooper Jones, who's been good in the preseason. Jones skates around Idaho's net as he's being shadowed now. Skating towards the bench is Cameron Cook as the Grizzlies retreat and make a line change. Idaho gets to neutral ice. Nick Canati with a great stride skates towards the right side. He stops, throws it up top for Cooper Jones. Jones to the left point, takes a righty shot, and it bounces off the stick of Martell and flies towards the far corner. Murphy, right point, fires a shot. It bounces off the glove of Jacob Semick as it was about chest high. Idaho still with the puck, throws it towards Murphy. Pass picked up by Raby, who throws it to center ice. Idaho resets as Cody Heiskanen challenged by the Rooster. Heiskanen still has the puck as Martell reaches his stick as Heiskanen now behind Idaho's net, and he'll restart the attack. 5.5 minutes left in the first, still no score. Murphy skates down the middle, gets around Betts. He enters the zone. Bice over to Heiskanen. Right circle, take a righty shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. And once again, no rebounds allowed as Giannuzzi's off to a good start. 5:24 left in the first period. No score between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. Utah had one power play and ended up with one shot on goal. Idaho has outshot Utah 7-4 here so far. We're back in 30 seconds after this word from Rio Tinto.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Utah Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by FedEx Ground and Affinity 56 Apartments. That's where the Grizzlies are staying this season. Very sharp-looking apartment. And that's over about 8800 West. Not that far away from where I live in Kearns. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Boy, Dante Giannuzzi's off to a good start. He had a very successful junior career with the Portland Winterhawks. Kyle Betts will take the face-off. And if we're talking about forwards who are outstanding for the Grizzlies in that 6-game playoff series against Idaho, Betts might be the first name you mentioned. Giannis Vandenbergs will take the draw for Idaho. He's got A.J. White and Colton Keller out there as well. Defensive pairing for Idaho in the attack zone is Patrick Kubla and Cody Heiskanen. Draws in the Grizzlies zone, far circle, and it's won by Utah. As Jensen throws to Underwood, ahead to Cole Gallant. Tapped off the stick of Heiskanen. Puck settles in the left point. Heiskanen throws to the corner. Underwood was there, though. He moves ahead towards Gallant. Gallant skates back towards Underwood, and he taps off the glass, and it goes over the head of A.J. White and into the Steelhead zone. Idaho gathers it. Kubla skating from right to left, throws to Spanenbergs. It tapped off his stick and rolls towards Underwood, who glides it out to center ice for Betts, who dumps it in. And behind the net, Thompson lets Kubla play it. Less than 5 minutes left in the first period. Ahead to Keller. Now to A.J. White in the left wing. He settles over the line. 3-on-3 over to Keller. Keller in the far corner. Throws to White behind the net. White tried to chip it out in front. Mayhew took it away. Mayhew to Jared Power. It tapped off the stick of Colton Keller and on to Semick. Semick, the ASU product, towards center ice for Betts, who dumps it in. Good shift for Betts as Grizzlies get some fresh skaters on the ice. Kudla, who didn't play last night, he's a fresh body and a good athlete. He throws it to center ice, picked off by Messner. He'll get it to the right wing for Semick, who dumps it in from the right point as Fitz chases after it. Big time hit as Fitz dragged down Donahue. Donahue gets back to his feet. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. Messner throws up top for Mayhew. He'll throw a left wing shot that goes wide off the end boards. Fitz, left wing, fires a righty shot. Saved by Thompson, and he covers up. Boy, Dylan Fitz behind Idaho's net just leveled Seamus Donahue, and Donahue ended up on his back. And then Fitz towards the left side near the boards, fired towards the net, looking for a redirection or maybe a rebound. Thompson was able to gather it, though. Looks like both goaltenders have been on point here so far. Even though the passing hasn't been all that crisp from both teams, looks like both defensive units have been on point here the first 16 minutes of play. Dean Yakura will take the draw against Jack Becker. Grizzlies rolling with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. Same's the case for Idaho. Steelheads win the faceoff. They throw it towards Jade Miller, who couldn't get it at the Idaho blue line. Grizzlies dump it in. Looks like play starting to get very physical here, and we didn't see any fights on Friday. Maybe we'll see one tonight. As Register slides it ahead towards Becker. Becker gets the center ice down the middle. Right wing pass to Niram at the line. Back to Becker. Right side. Look to center to Miller. Great defensive play by Stone, who tried to clear it out. Willie Niram keeps it in the right circle. Niram loses it as Brian Yoon gets it out to center. Boy, Jordan Stone's had a pretty good training camp, and he's looked good in this first period. As Niram moves ahead to Becker, enters from the right side. Becker skates towards the goal line, stops near the corner. Skates back towards the point and gets it to Register. Matt Register wearing number 43, possible future Hall of Famer in this league. As Niram trying to get it back to Register, he gets held up by Yakura. As Register battles with the Yakura, and Yoon takes the puck. He moves ahead to Cameron Cook across to Stewart. He gets the center ice right wing and dumps it in as the puck wobbles on its side. Grizzlies make a line change. 3 minutes left in the first, still no score. Idaho gets around center ice. Cooper Jones drives it around the wall. As Underwood tried to move it ahead, Aragon battles with Martel. Martel gets it and throws it to Jensen, who lifts it high into the air. Kanadi couldn't glove it near the Steelheads bench. Martel gathers it and dumps it in. Stewart behind his net throws it to Kanadi. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first, still no score. Shots haven't really changed much. Idaho 7, Utah 5. At neutral ice, Underwood takes it away from Nardella. Puck glides deep in the Grizzly zone as Underwood chases after it. He gets it towards Jensen, back towards Underwood. Puck lifts in the air from one corner to the other. Now it's on the near side. As Nardella back to Canella, over to Cody Haskinen, who swings and doesn't get much on it. As he fanned on it, Cutler throws it towards Martel. The Rooster 1-on-2 in the attack zone as he tried to throw it around the boards and didn't get much on it. As Nardella throws it towards the far side, taken by Martel. We get a whistle, and looks like a high stick's going to be called. I think it might be on the Grizzlies as it was touched up when Martel took the puck. It looks like Idaho's going to get their first power play. Martel looks like he's going to the box. He can't believe it. Yeah, it looks like a good call as they show the replay as Martel high-sticked Nardella as Nardella was about halfway into the Steelheads attack zone. As Nardella was trying to throw a pass, and Martel got him with a high stick. 2 minutes for high sticking, 2:08 left in the first period. The Steelheads go on the power play for the first time tonight. A.J. White will take the face-off with Donahue and Murphy up front. Back end is Becker and Register, taking the draw for Utah's Kyle Betts. As the draw won by Utah, as Mayhew battles with Donahue. Mayhew tried to clear it out. Register keeps it in left point. Register, one-on-one battle with Messner. Register skates towards the corner. Mayhew challenges as Wade Murphy throws it back to the point. Donahue gets it. Donahue will feed it across to Becker. Right side, righty shot goes high off the glass and rolls towards the near boards. Kyle Betts gets it 2-on-2. He crosses center ice. Betts gets into the offensive zone, gets around Register, throws it towards the end wall and chases after it. Betts looked to center it. The only guy there is Donahue. Still has to come back the other way. As Messner is replaced by Penner, Becker drops it off for Wade Murphy. Back towards Becker, who couldn't reach it at the far goal line. Becker rolls it around the wall for Murphy. He's on the left side. Murphy back to Becker. Up top for Register, high slot. Register fakes a shot, gathers it, throws it back to Becker on the right point. Across to Register is now on the left side. Cyrus to White, back to Donahue, left side. Lefty shot, saved by Giannuzzi. Rebound goes to Hume, who bounced it off of Donahue. Donahue over to Register. Halfway through Idaho's power play, still scoreless. About a minute left in the first. As Register chips over towards the far wing boards to Becker. Back up top for Register, who fakes a shot, throws to Murphy. One-timer goes high and stays in play, but it exits his zone. Register gets it at center ice. Idaho make a line change, and so did the Grizzlies. 45 seconds left in the first, still no score. Idaho's outshot Utah 9-5. Heiskanen around the net, skates down the middle. His brother plays in the NHL. Left wing pass to Bice, across to Kudla off the wall, but the whistle blows as the Eagle Eye linesman said the Steelheads were offside. I've been saying that Scott DeBaugh, that's actually Eric Landquist, who's the linesman I keep confusing. John Lindner, the referee tonight. Kind of like we did last night, we'll break down both defensive units in the first intermission. We'll also go over some scores along the NHL and maybe some ECHL preseason scores as well. Utah wins the faceoff. It goes into the Grizz zone as Cade Jensen lifts it high into the air, goes over the head of Kudla and glides on its side, kind of skips towards Brian Thompson. Thompson gets it back to Kudla. 20 seconds left in the period. 12 seconds on the Idaho power play. Head towards Heiskanen. Now to Zane Franklin, right side. Chips it towards the middle. It's cut off by Mayhew. Now behind the net, Mark Rassel. Centers to Franklin, who tried to throw it to the far goal line. Jensen pokes it away. Grizzlies back at full strength. 5 seconds left in the period. Kudla over to Franklin. One-timer. And a blocker saved by Giannuzzi. And that will do it for the first period as Martel skates towards center ice. But that's 20 minutes of play here at Idaho Central Arena. Dante Giannuzzi was a star in the first frame, stopping all 10 shots he saw. Grizzlies had a pretty good penalty kill there to end the first period. It was really defense and goaltending that dominated the first frame as both teams' passing was just a little bit off. It's preseason for everybody. I hope everybody's enjoying the broadcast. It's preseason for me as well as I'm trying to knock off a bunch of rust. When we come back, we'll go over some scores along the ECHL and NHL and some college football top 25 scores as well. And we'll have a good time here. Getting ready for the second period as the Zamboni will take the ice. Through one period, both teams have one power play. Idaho had a 2-1 shot edge, 10-5, but no score here in the second preseason game as Utah won 6-0 last night. We're in business on a Saturday evening, and we'll come back with the first intermission report in 45 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Welcome back to Idaho Central Arena. It's certainly great to watch live hockey in the arena, especially when the Grizzlies are on the road. Kind of a home away from home, as the Grizzlies usually take 2 or 3 trips to Idaho during the regular season. Obviously, every year they meet in the preseason. And it seems like lately it's always a good postseason battle between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. Utah won the first 2 games of the playoff series here in Boise and then lost 4 straight overtime contests. Idaho outshot Utah 10-5 in the first period. Patrick Kudla had 2 shots, and then 8 other Steelheads had 1 shot in the frame. Nobody for the Grizzlies had more than 1 shot in the first period. Looks like defensemen had the majority of shots. 4 of the 5 Grizzlies shots were by defensemen. Brian Yoon, Kyle Mayhew, Jacob Semick, Michael Underwood were the 4 defensemen. They each had 1 shot. And Dylan Fitz, who had that shot from the far boards that fired towards Brian Thompson. He's the only forward to have a shot for the Grizzlies here so far. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. Jade Miller got a cross-checking minor for Idaho, 10:59 in. Jordan Martell for the Grizzlies got a high sticking minor, 17:52 in. They did show the replay on the video board of the Martell penalty, and it definitely was a good call. And Miller's cross-check was a good call as well. John Lindner, the referee. Eric Landquist and Joshua Burkhart are the linesmen. Other preseason action in the league. A few games have gone final. Kalamazoo defeats Toledo 4-3. Worcester over Maine 4-2. Savannah defeats Jacksonville. They're owned by the same people. 4-2 the final there. Late third period, Fort Wayne leads Iowa 3-2. Let's see if Cameron Wright did anything for Fort Wayne. He had 1 assist for the Comets this evening. Wright, the leading scorer for the Grizzlies. He had 30 goals. He also led the team in points last year. He's playing for Fort Wayne. He signed an AHL contract with Bakersfield in the offseason and was reassigned to Fort Wayne. Remember, Fort Wayne's going to host the Grizzlies 2 months from now for a 3-game series. Maybe we'll see former Grizzly Cameron Wright playing for the Comets. Late third period, Cincinnati leads Indy 3-2. And through 2 periods in a Mountain Division battle, Tulsa leads Allen by a 4-0 score. Remember, Tulsa is going to be the opponent for the Grizzlies next weekend in the first weekend of the year. Home opener next Saturday, October 21st. Looks like Olsen has 2 goals for Tulsa. And if the Oilers get better goaltending this year, they can end up having a bounce-back season. Remember, they made the playoffs 2 years ago, and they were the Grizzlies' first-round opponent in the 2022 Kelly Cup playoffs. They forced 7 games before the Grizzlies were able to win by, I think, a 4-0 score. It was certainly a one-sided affair in Game 7, but Tulsa really gave the Grizzlies a run for their money. Last season, they finished in last place in the Mountain Division. We'll see if they have a bounce-back campaign here this season. So that's the ECHL scores. In the NHL, a busy night. A lot of games that have gone final. Ottawa defeats Philadelphia 5-2. Winnipeg over Florida 6-4. Boston over Nashville 3-2. Columbus defeats the New York Rangers 5-3, as Columbus now 1-1 this season. Red Wings over the Lightning 6-4. Penguins defeat the Flames 5-2. Games in progress, and it looks like it's just gone final. Montreal defeats Chicago 3-2. Obviously, everybody talking about Connor Bedard. He had 1 assist tonight in 23 minutes of play. So Bedard with 1 assist, but it wasn't enough. Montreal defeats Chicago 3-2. Late third period, Toronto leads Minnesota 7-4. I guess the biggest story in the NHL this week really was the Maple Leafs changing their goal song. It was Hall & Oates, You Make My Dreams Come True, which is really an outstanding song. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the song, but this year, almost maybe the theme of this season, you think about the Maple Leafs and their pursuit, looking for a Stanley Cup for the first time since, 1967? Pursuit of Happiness, that song that was played in Project X. That's the new goal song for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. 2 other games in progress. Second intermission, Seattle and the St. Louis Blues are tied at 1. And 6 minutes are left in the third period. Islanders lead the Sabres 3-2. In local college football, the University of Utah got a victory over Cal today. The final score of that game was 34-14. So the Utes go to 5-1 this season. Cal falls to 3-4. Bryson Barnes didn't throw for a touchdown, but didn't throw an interception either. 15 of 21 passing for the Utes, 128 yards. Vaki really got the job done on the ground. 2 rushing touchdowns, 158 yards. Looks like Utah really got the running game going. 317 rushing yards and 4 rushing TDs. And Vaki had 2 of them. Jackson and Barnes also with a touchdown run. The Utes go to 5-1. They defeat Cal 34-14. The story is not as happy in Fort Worth as TCU defeats BYU 44-11. Keaton Slovis had a tough day for BYU, 15 of 34 passing, 152 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. BYU had 91 yards of rushing, but just a 2.8 yards per carry average, while TCU just dominated as they had 439 yards passing from Hoover, 4 touchdowns. TCU doubled up BYU in first downs, 30-15. And it was just a beatdown as TCU, and really the turnover margin was even. Both teams had 2 turnovers. It was just TCU really dominated, and they defeat BYU 44-11. BYU goes to 4-2 this season. TCU with the win goes to 4-3. Massive top 10 battle between Oregon and Washington as Washington won 36-33 Oregon had a game-tying field goal attempt that ended up going a little bit wide. That could have tied the game and sent it to overtime, but a big win for Washington and Michael Penix. Big game that's going on right now, Notre Dame and USC, that big rivalry contest. And it looks like with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Notre Dame leads USC 31-13. And after all, I think if you're USC, you could see that coming because, they almost lost a big lead to Colorado, who lost to Stanford last night in double overtime. And Arizona almost beat USC. So it feels like the Trojans have it coming as they're trailing by 18 points to Notre Dame, 31-13. Here at Idaho Central Arena, no score. We mentioned both teams had one power play. Both teams had a couple good looks. And if we're talking about finishers for the Grizzlies in the power play this season, I look at the Rooster, Jordan Martell. If he gets that look on the left side, he seems like he's got not only a lethal one-timer in terms of velocity, but it seems like he's deadly accurate with it. Maybe he could have the sort of success that Charles Edward Dastu had on the power play a couple years ago. If the Grizzlies can be a top 10 power play unit to go along with their strong defensive core and the way the goaltending's played through 4 periods of the preseason, I think that the Grizzlies have to really like what they've gotten from Metcalf yesterday. I think they have to be impressed with Dante Giannuzzi here through 1 period. It seems like of the 10 shots that Idaho had, 4 or 5 of them were grade A chances. And Giannuzzi really did a good job closing the door and not allowing rebounds. He did a good job not letting second chances go, to the Steelheads. And the Grizzlies defensive unit, even though they're without Josh Wesley and Keone Teixeira as well as Corey Thomas, they're without 3 good defensemen tonight. But other guys have stepped up. Semick looked like he played pretty well after not playing last night. And I think Jordan Stone's had a pretty good camp. Is Stone looking to make the team? He played in 24 games for the Grizzlies over the last 2 years, and Stone really looked impressive. He made good decisions with the puck, and there was one occasion where he had to be in the right spot in front of the net, and he was able to be there. Good first period for Jordan Stone. Brian Yoon's really settling in there, and I think Michael Underwood's going to be a solid defenseman as well. And you know where you're going to get from Kyle Mayhew, even though it's still a small sample size. Mayhew's looked pretty good for the Grizzlies as well. From the Idaho side, you could just see the impact from that Matt Register brings. When Register's out there, he just has a calming impact. He makes those good decisions with the puck, and when you get him on the blue line in the attack zone, he seems to really know where to go with the puck. Whether it's an open guy in either of the circle, whether it's just feeding it across to the guy in the other point, or if it's taking a shot himself. And Matt Register, he was not the defensive player of the year in 3 ice for nothing. And there's no reason, he's been a champion in this league and potentially could be a Hall of Famer. And Matt Register, you could see the impact that he's had on the Steelheads, last night not being in the lineup and, here tonight where he's really made his presence felt. Almost feels like there's a little bit of unfinished business for the Steelheads. They had a legendary regular season where they won, 57 games or so, got all the way to the finals before they were swept by the Florida Everblades. For the Grizzlies, they know the division's going to run through Boise, and the Grizzlies got a little bit bigger in the offseason. The defensive unit's just a little bit bigger, and, we saw the Grizzlies give Idaho all they can handle in the postseason series last year. And I think if the Grizzlies get that consistent front line of Raby, Martell, and Cutler, if all 3 of them are Grizzlies for the majority of the season, I think Utah's going to be a tough team to beat, especially if they get the goaltending that they've gotten so far here in the preseason. Utah won 6-0 last night. We're scoreless after 1 period here this evening. We'll come back and have second period action here at Idaho Central Arena as we're back in 90 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
First intermission, no score. We'll skate 5-on-5 to start the second period. Idaho outshot Utah 10-5. It's really a night like this where you wish you had a guy like Guy Carenza hanging out with us. He is on YouTube this evening. He's doing an audio broadcast with the Amarillo Wranglers, as he's the voice of the Amarillo Wranglers. Their audio broadcasts are on YouTube, just as ours are. So catch Guy Carenza all season long with the Amarillo Wranglers. But it's going to be tough to replace him, as he was just outstanding. And he provided a lot of great analysis, and it was a lot of fun working with him last season. He's in Amarillo this year. We'll have Tim Broussard for some games for the upcoming season. We'll have a lot of fun. And remember, the Grizzlies are going to be home quite a bit here in the early stretch of the regular season. First 7 games of the regular year will be at home, and then a 3-game trip to Iowa. Thanksgiving week, the Newfoundland Growlers will be in town. And when you think about the barometer for the Grizzlies, you think about the 14 games against Idaho, the 10 against Tulsa. You know, they always play about 60 games against divisional opponents every year, and that's really going to be a key for the Grizzlies. Can they find a way to really play well at home? As last year they were 19-17 at home, which really forced them to be a good road team. And the Grizzlies pretty much broke even on the road with a record of 16-16-4. They had they had half the standings points that possible. And I think that if you want to win the division, really you look at every division in the league. It always seems to be the team that has the best road record usually ends up having the best record. You look at the top of the standings. Idaho had an outstanding road record last year, and really that was the difference between Idaho having the historic year they had last year and missing the playoffs a couple years ago. Idaho really struggled on the road a couple years ago, and even though they played well on home ice, they missed the playoffs because they were only about 25% winning percentage on the road. For the Grizzlies, if they want to win, they're gonna have to play well away from Maverick Center. And on a neutral site, technically a Grizzlies home game last night. Here in the first period, the Grizzlies have done a good job protecting on-road ice. You think about the Ironmen for the Grizzlies, and thinking about earlier this week, who are going to be the leaders for the Grizzlies this season. And the great thing is I think you can look to about half the roster. Josh Wesley's going to be a leader this year. I got a feeling Keone Teixeira is going to wear a letter. I mean, he was the captain of the Indy Fuel a couple years ago. Got a couple of college captains. Brian Yoon was the captain at Colorado College. You look at Penner and Fitz, 2 guys who have been there and done that. 2 Ironmen who you can count on every game. Penner could end up wearing the C. Dylan Fitz would certainly be a good captain for the Grizzlies. That Brandon Cutler and Dakota Raby could be good team leaders as well. And I think Jordan Martell, you talk about him having an outstanding final month of the regular season, and he's really built on that as he looks about as sharp as ever here in the preseason. As the Grizzlies are taking the ice, we'll have second period action here in about 2 minutes of real time. As Dante Giannuzzi will head towards his net on the right side. And Brian Thompson on the left side of the ice, as Idaho will be skating from left to right here in the second period. Grizzlies from right to left. Thompson's an interesting story for Idaho. Now, remember last year, the Steelheads had that amazing 3 goaltending system, tender system with Jake Kupski, Adam Scheel, Remy Poirier. I mean, the team save percentage for Idaho last year, I think, was .928. Looks like the Steelheads are breaking in new goaltenders this year. Caden Fulcher struggled a little bit, stopping 32 of 38. Tonight, it's Brian Thompson, who's got an AHL contract with the Texas Stars. Thompson played last season in the WHL with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Thompson's got good size, 6'5", 183 pounds. He only saw 5 shots in the first period, but he looked pretty sharp. So we got a good goaltending matchup here tonight. Giannuzzi making a strong first impression to Grizzlies fans here this evening. And Thompson making a good first impression to Steelheads fans. And it looks like a pretty good crowd has filed in here. Season ticket holders, I think people have a ticket package. We're the only ones let in. And it looks like a few Grizzlies fans have snuck in behind Utah's bench here this evening. Good atmosphere. They still sell out just about every night. Grizzlies had a good year attendance-wise last season. They averaged 5,334 fans per game. That's the highest attendance average since the 2018-2019 season. Hopefully we'll have a good crowd at Maverick Center for the first 7 games of the regular season. Jack Becker will take the draw for Idaho against Brandon Cutler, as Jade Miller and Willie Niram are the other forwards for Idaho. Matt Register and Seamus Donahue. Top forward line for the Grizzlies out there to start the second period. The Rooster on the right wing. Cutler down the middle, taking the face-off as the center. And Dakota Raby on the left side. Kyle Mayhew and Jacob Semick, the defensive pairing. 20 minutes are on the scoreboard clock here to start the second period. Eric Landquist, the linesman, drops the puck. Idaho wins the face-off. We're underway for the middle frame. Willie Niram gets to the Utah blue line. Fans on it. Now he gets it back. Looking for Becker down the middle. Becker swings and misses. Grizzlies throw it out to center. Donahue near the Idaho bench. Tried to dump it in. He bounced it off of Raby. Idaho in the attack zone. Jade Miller, right wing shot, hits the side of the net. As Idaho look to feed it down the middle. Pass incomplete as Jordan Martell gets it. He'll throw it to Cutler off the boards near the Grizzlies bench. Cutler left wing shot. Saved by Thompson. Shot probably ends up going wide on the angle that Cutler took on it. But Thompson's able to glove it anyway. We'll see if it counts as a shot. It does. It's Utah's 6th shot of the contest and first in the second period. Grizz will have an offensive zone draw. 31 seconds into the second period as both teams make a line change. Kyle Betts talking things over with Michael Underwood, Cole Gallant, and Jared Power up front for the Grizzlies. Underwood and Jensen, the defensive pairing. Taking the face-off is Bison. He wins it as he gets over to Kudlu. Skates around Idaho's net. Still had skating from left to right in the first period, in the second period. As the pass incomplete as Bice was looking for Murphy around center. And Murphy couldn't reach it. Icing on the Steelheads as we get another whistle. This time 41 seconds into the second period. Ryan Kanaswich talking with the Grizzlies forward unit. Christian Horn talking with the defenseman on the bench. Horn, the first-year assistant, sporting a beard. And the linesman drops the puck, and neither Ty Pelton Bice or Kyle Betts moved. That's a false start on the linesman. We'll replay first down. He dropped the puck, and neither guy moved. Now they drop it. Kyle Betts wins the face-off. Underwood in the left point. Fires a righty shot that goes wide. Rebound shot. Saved by Thompson. Best save he's made tonight. As Gallant had a good look from the right side. As Heiskanen rolls it towards the far side. Mark Rassel moves it ahead. As he still heads at center ice. Bice ahead looking for Murphy. He couldn't reach it. But he still heads across center ice. Oh, big-time hit. That's going to be a penalty. As Underwood was trying to get the puck, Murphy blasted him across the boards. Underwood's back to his feet, but it's a penalty on Wade Murphy. Underwood was chasing after it, had his back towards the play, and Murphy just boarded him. Big-time hit. Luckily, Underwood was able to get back to his feet. Grizzlies are going to have their second power play of the night. First here in the second period on either side. Big hit by Wade Murphy, but I'm guessing because Underwood just had his back turned and Murphy just drove him to the boards, that's going to be a penalty. And it was called. Cutler's taking the face off with Raby and Fitz up front. Mayhew and Martell on the blue line. Svanenberg takes the draw for Idaho. Draw won by Utah. Fitz gets over to Martell, left point. Martell dances around. He gets towards the circle. He's near the boards. Martell up top for Mayhew. High slot over to Martell. Just outside the left circle. He centers it to Raby. Back to Mayhew. Mayhew in the high slot over to Martell. One-timer, he scores! The Rooster gets a power play goal for the second straight game, and the Grizzlies have taken a 1-0 lead. Boy, that was a blast by Jordan Martell. Just found the far corner and went top shelf. Glove side over the glove of Brian Thompson. Mayhew's going to get an assist. I think Raby will as well. And we talked about right there in the intermission, Martell in the power play in the left circle. We've seen that twice now here in the preseason. I got a feeling we're going to see it over and over and over again in the regular year. Utah's outscored Idaho 7-0 here in the preseason. 1-0 here in Boise as Idaho wins the draw, skating 5-on-5. Far goal line, centers it, shot and score! Boy, the Steelheads fed it out in front, and Zane Franklin ties the game as the Steelhead fans for the first time tonight have something to cheer about. Franklin salutes everybody on the Steelheads bench. I think that was Aragon who was at the far goal line. Just fed it to Franklin out in front. It bounced off of Giannuzzi's glove and just trickled past the goal line. It looks like there's no fish being thrown on the ice. I guess it's preseason, usually after the first goal. And now, after about a long delay, finally the fish gets thrown on the ice. The same guy in this odd-looking fish costume gets the puck. He raises the fish. Oh, he fumbled it for a second. Now on the second look, gets the fish, gets the center ice, holds the fish up in the air as one guy with a shovel will work on the ice that the fish was laid on. And now the fish is off the ice. Boy, it took a while. I was wondering if they were actually going to get the fish on the ice, as it looked like they were about ready for the face-off, and finally the fish ended up falling in the Steelhead zone. We're tied at 1. Grizzlies answered, or the Steelheads answered the Martell power play goal. Zane Franklin finds the back of the net. Franklin had 16 goals in 55 games last year. The shovel is off the ice. We're going to get back to live action. Idaho skating from left to right, Utah from right to left. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 11-7. As Idaho wins the draw, we're tied at 1. As Cooper Jones in the near side moves it ahead. Nardella couldn't handle it. Messner skates down the middle, take a lefty shot. Glove saved by Thompson. As Thompson made the glove stop about shoulder high, as Messner had a pretty good look. If we're talking about Grizzlies forwards, I think they're going to have a big year. I think Messner looks like he's going to add a lot of depth scoring for the Grizzlies. Messner, a very underrated skater. Aragon with an assist, and Nick Nardella also with an assist on the Franklin goal as Idaho moves it ahead. Long-range pass connects. Franklin, the left circle. He centers it. Shot by Nardella goes wide over the crossbar. Actually went high over the crossbar. Franklin spins along the wall. Brian Yoon, far side, gets hit by Aragon. Grizzlies move it out to neutral ice and into the Steelhead zone as Cooper Puck gets the sliding puck, or Cooper Jones gets the sliding puck. Head to Franklin at the Idaho blue line. He couldn't reach it. Puck goes deep in the Grizzlies zone, and on its side, icing is called as we'll come back towards Brian Thompson with the face-off. 17:51 left in the second period. Boy, 2 goals in the span of, 30 seconds? Didn't last long as Franklin scored 129 into the second period. Martell 118 in. So goals 11 seconds apart. Martell scored with Mayhew and Raby getting the assist 118 in. 11 seconds later, 129 in. Franklin scored with Nardella and Aragon getting the assist. Utah wins the offensive zone draw. Looks to start to Stewart. Shot goes wide as Stewart just got a slight piece of it. Stewart now near goal line, takes a shot, and it deflects off the stick and goes wide as Stewart was near the boards. Fired a lefty shot, and it went high off the protective netting. As we get another whistle, Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. 17:40 left in the second. 11-8, the shot edge for Idaho here so far, as Dean Yakura will take the faceoff against Spanenbergs. Idaho has won more than their fair share of faceoffs here this weekend, and Idaho wins one here. Cudlip behind the Idaho net, feeds ahead to A.J. White, far side. Now back to Cudlip as he surveys. Now he throws an east-west pass to Heiskanen. Ahead to White on the left side. White steps over the offensive line, wearing number 18 and the captain's C. Trying to drop it off for Spanenbergs. He couldn't get it. Now Spanenbergs over to White. Far goal line. Shot. And he fanned on it as Semick got a piece of it. As Idaho, Keller, right side shot. And it's blocked out in front by White, who was trying to redirect it. Grizzlies come back the other way. Cameron Cook across the center ice. Left wing pass to Stewart. Stewart with the lefty blast. And a kick save by Thompson. Idaho moves ahead. 2-on-2 at center ice. White throws to Spanenbergs, wearing number 72. Spanenbergs gets to the left circle. Loses the puck. Underwood gets it. Underwood skates towards the Grizzlies goal line. Now behind the Grizz net. He'll throw it to Cameron Cook. Cook gets pushed by Spanenbergs from behind, right side. Becker takes the puck. Spanenbergs pushes Cameron Cook. That's got to be a penalty as Spanenbergs continues to work on Cook. Left wing, lefty shot saved by Giannuzzi. Puck goes behind the goal, behind the net as Miller tried to get it towards Donahue. He was held up. And now Miller throws to Niram over to the high slot for a register. Shot saved by Giannuzzi. Rebound goes out towards the right point as Idaho fired a pass. Becker over to Register on the left point. Register looked to center to glance off the stick of Underwood and goes to neutral ice. And a collective groan from the Idaho fans as the puck ended up back at neutral ice. Becker skates into the offensive zone over to Miller, left side, trying to center to Niram, who was cutting towards the net. Puck bounced off a Grizzly stick and rolls towards the near corner. Jared Power gets knocked down by Nearham, but Power gets back up and keeps the puck. Power gets towards center ice and gets hit by Jade Miller as Becker takes the puck. They'll move it ahead. Idaho steps over the line as the Steelheads left point fire a pass looking for the middle, but ended up glancing off a Grizzly stick. Mark Rassel has it. He'll skate towards his left wing, lefty shot, saved by Giannuzzi. Goes towards Canati, who skates around Utah's net. Canati now to the right side, skates towards his left and drops off for Becker. Becker, right wing shot, saved by Giannuzzi. Rebound shot, saved Giannuzzi again. Now left wing shot goes wide, as that was taken by Rassel. Now right wing Murphy with a shot, and a blocker saved by Giannuzzi. Puck goes to the left point. Canati will drop it off for Murphy. One-timer, and it goes high as it rolls around the near boards. Cooper Jones chases after it. He gets at the Idaho blue line. Grizzlies sneaking a couple new defensemen as Mayhew enters. Idaho at center ice dumps it in. Bice towards Rassel. He gets it poked away by Mayhew. Bice gets it back, throws it up top for Jones. Back towards Bice. He couldn't handle it. Murphy collides with Mayhew in the corner. Betts gets pushed by Rassel. Utah comes up with a puck as Semick skates towards the far side, moves it towards Cole Gallant. He dumps it in. Raby trying to cut off the icing. No icing on the plays. Raby won the battle. Fans disagree. Bice gets it as he joined the play as Raby was battling one-on-one. As Raby gets it back along the near side over towards Cutler. Murphy cuts it off. Cutler gets it back. Left side skates towards the corner. As the Grizz in the offensive zone tried to drop it off for Raby to Cutler, and Murphy takes it away. Murphy gets towards center ice. He dumps it in. Giannuzzi behind his net will drop it off for Cade Jensen, wearing number 23. Last year it was Kyle Pouncey wearing that number. Grizzlies lift it high into the air. Still had to get it back in their own zone. Looking for a pass. Martell takes it away. Gets over to Raby. Try to get it back to Martell. Cutler pokes it away. Now Haskinen over to the far side. Backhand pass towards center ice. Cut off by Mayhew, who gets to the Rooster. Martell skates towards his left. He steps over the blue line. Martell skates towards the corner. Gets held up by Cudla. As we're about 6 minutes into the second period, we're tied at 1. As 2 goals 11 seconds apart were scored. Martell 1:18 in, and then 11 seconds later, Zane Franklin got Idaho's first goal of the preseason. Haskinen throws to Cutler, who gets the center ice. Now to Nardella, wearing number 10. Nardella skates towards the left circle, now around the net. Nardella with good speed. He's now on the right side. Nardella drops it off for Haskinen on the right point. It's like a righty shot, and it glances off the stick of Fitz and flies off the protective netting and out of play. As we get a whistle with 13:37 left in the second. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. We're back in 30 seconds after this word from Rio Tinto.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our families' tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm. And our lights on. It's the power behind the team. And a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
We're tied at 1, 13:37 left in the second period. Idaho has outshot Utah 15-9. The Rooster got a power play goal 1:18 into the second on a one-timer from the left circle. Kyle Mayhew and Dakota Raby with the assist. Then 11 seconds later, Idaho responded for the game-tying goal as Aaron Aragon was over at the far goal line, just centered it out in front to Zane Franklin. Looked like Giannuzzi got a piece of it, but it just glanced off Giannuzzi's glove and trickled past the goal line, and that tied the game up 1:29 into the second period. Neither team scored in the first. We've got ourselves a pretty good hockey game. A.J. White will take the draw against Tyler Penner. Grizzlies in the white jerseys with black numbers, professional green trim. Idaho made a few subtle changes to their jersey, a black jersey with white numbers and a little bit of silver mixed in. Silver or gray, maybe take your pick, I guess. Idaho wins the draw. Colton Keller, high slot, throws to Svanenbergs on the right side, like a righty shot. And Penner blocks it and it flies out of play. And it hits off the protective netting, so no souvenir for a fan. As we'll get a whistle, we'll get a face-off in the right circle with 13:28 left in the second. I'll admit, I don't know the difference between gray and silver. I don't know if it's silver or if it's gray that Idaho's wearing. If it's silver, they're channeling their inner Oakland or Vegas Raiders. That's the second time I've called them the Oakland Raiders. Idaho wins the draw. They roll it around the wall. Keller with a big-time hit as he collides with Jordan Stone. As Svanenberg's right side drops off for Donahue as Keller continues to battle with Stone in front of the net. Idaho skates towards their right, throws to the high slot for Donahue. Take a lefty shot and it goes just wide. Svanenberg's battles with Hume. Svanenberg's takes the puck as he'll skate towards the right point. Now they try to roll it around the wall. Stone cuts it off as he gets pushed by Keller. Boy, Stone's been very impressive here in the preseason. Svanenberg throws to the near goal line for Keller. Backhand shot goes wide. Keller will come off the ice wearing an A on his sweater. Dylan Fitz gets to center ice. Fitz with an A on his sweater as well. Right wing, shot saved by Thompson. It was a nice pad save as Idaho comes back up with it. As Fitz was streaking towards the right side and had a good look. Now to center ice. Stewart skates in, right circle. Stewart looked to center it out in front. Thompson sticks it away as puck goes back over to Jensen at neutral ice. He'll get to Underwood. Underwood backpedals into the Grizzlies zone. Now moves it ahead to Cook. Cameron Cook towards the right side, skates in. Cook looking for a pass to the left, and he gets poked away by Idaho's Jack Becker. Blue line to blue line pass. Nobody home for Idaho as Underwood gathers it. He'll feed it towards the Steelheads bench for Cook, who dumps it back into the Grizzlies zone as we get a whistle. And looks like we might have an offside call. It's kind of an awkward play as Cook dumped it into the Grizzlies zone and Becker chased after it. Looks like offside is the call. 12:05 left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Betts will take the face-off against Ty Pelton-Bice. Bice last season had 19 goals in 43 games. Idaho wins the draw as Jones moved it towards Rassel at the Utah blue line. He got poked away. Mayhew hits the ice at center. And it looks like we're going to have a penalty. Cross-checking is going to be the call, and Mark Rassel has a couple words for the referee as he steps into the penalty box, and Utah goes back on the power play. Grizzlies 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. 11:56 left in the second. We're tied at 1. Mayhew looked like more of a tripping penalty than anything else, and before that, Rassel might have gotten somebody with a high stick. We'll see if the Grizzlies power play can continue to produce. They've got 3 power play goals here in the preseason. 2 last night and 1 here in the second period this evening. Cutler will take the face-off against Becker. Raby and Fitz up front. Mayhew and Martell back of them. As Idaho wins the face-off, Cutler will bounce it off the glass, goes over the head of Martell and into the Grizzly zone as Kyle Mayhew chases after it. Grizzlies skating from right to left here in the second period as Mayhew at the far goal line near the corner. Now he'll start the attack. Skates down the middle, does Mayhew. Now he veers off to the left, pass to Raby. Now back to Cutler of the Grizzlies zone. Cutler gets the neutral ice, throws a right wing pass to Martell. Now to Fitz in the right point, across towards Raby. It glances off of his skate and glides towards the near corner. Grizzlies in the offensive zone as Fitz to the right side, fires a righty shot and hits the post. Iron unkind as Martell couldn't keep it in the left point and chases it down in the Grizzlies zone. Martell gets on the near side as he'll skeet towards his right. He'll drop it off for Mayhew. Kyle Mayhew wearing number 6. The national champion in 2022 gets into the zone, loses the puck as the Grizzlies will make a line change. A couple of skates around Idaho's net, and he'll throw it towards Jade Miller. Miller skates towards the right circle with speed, gets around Cutler as Miller was looking for a pass to his left, and Cutler took it away. Brandon Cutler towards center ice, battling with Willie Neerum. Now Cutler over to Mayhew at the center ice logo. He skates down the middle. Mayhew steps over the blue line, drops off for Martell on the left side. Martell glides slowly towards the corner over to Raby. Right side, shot saved by Thompson. He holds on as Martell, a lot of M's on the Grizzlies, Martell just kind of glided slowly towards the corner, then just fed it across to a wide open Raby on the right side. Raby had a good look, but Thompson was able to make the save. Both teams make a line change as the fans take up a Let's Go Steelheads chant. That's a few signs in the building as well. 10:39 left in the second. 43 seconds left in Utah's power play. Both teams made a line change at the whistle. As Utah wins the face-off, Messner over towards Cole Gallant. Now to Betts, who feeds up top for Brian Yoon, who skates towards his left. Drops off for Gallant. Back to Underwood. He's in the left circle. Up top for Yoon on the left side. Across to Gallant. Now to Betts, who feeds it off the end boards to Underwood. Underwood back to the right side for Gallant. Up top for Yoon. Yoon glides towards his right. He takes a righty shot, and it glanced off a stick and stays in play as it hit high off the glass. Idaho gathers it and throws it out to center. Unit neutral ice moves ahead to Betts, who re-enters. He gets hit by Donahue. Donahue's been physical this weekend. Svanenberg gathers the puck and glides it all the way towards Giannuzzi. That does it for the power play as the Steelheads are back at full strength. Utah 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair, and we're tied at 1. Grizzlies get to center ice, fire a shot on Thompson, who just it pads it over towards the far side. As Idaho gets it, Wade Murphy crossing center ice with speed. Grizzlies back defensively. Murphy enters the zone. Stewart with a good back check takes the puck away. As Stewart throws it across towards the Idaho bench. Jensen gets it. Jensen steps over the line and taps it off the end boards. Puck now on the right side. Nick Canati gets it for Idaho deep in the Steelhead zone. As he'll throw it to the far side for Bice. He's wearing number 17. Drops it out for Cooper Jones, who throws it to center ice looking for Murphy. And fits with a good poke check as Cutler gets it. He steps over the line. Cutler stops along the far boards, looks to center it to Raby. He couldn't reach it as Raby is cutting towards the net. Left point, Mayhew with a shot, and it's blocked by Canati. Look at that, got Canati, who skates slowly towards the bench. Rassel at center ice gets the puck. He avoids a check of Raby. Rassel over to Bice, trying to feed it across to Murphy, and Cutler picks it off. As Cutler throws it to the far side, Kudla battles with Mayhew. Kudla trying to get to Franklin, and Martell took it away. Bice gathers it again, throws it from one corner to the other as Franklin battles with Cutler, and now the puck goes back to the opposite corner on the far side. Kudla gets hit by Martell. Over to the left side. Arm is raised by the referee. Idaho shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. Lindner holds his right arm up and calls a high sticking penalty. It's going to be on Brandon Cutler. Cutler doesn't like it. Now Idaho's gotten a penalty. Or maybe Raby. Franklin and Raby were pushing each other in the near circle. Cutler's going to the penalty box. Franklin for Idaho and Raby for Utah. So 2 Grizzlies are now in the box. And Zane Franklin's in there for Idaho. As John Lindner, I guess, is trying to take control of this game. Idaho will have a power play when we come back. We're tied at 1 with 8:32 left in the second period on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm. And our lights on. It's the power behind the team. And a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Looks like Idaho is going to get a power play. There was an initial penalty where Brandon Cutler got called for high sticking. And then after the whistle, Dakota Raby and Zane Franklin pushed each other in the near circle of the Grizzlies zone. John Lindner out of the corner of his eye saw it and called the penalty on both guys. So the Steelheads are on the power play, tied at 1. Raby's penalty is the one that's listed on the board. Nice scoreboard here in Idaho as the draw won by the Grizzlies. Kyle Mayhew will throw it to center ice for Messner. 2-on-3. Messner steps over the line. Mayhew stays at neutral ice. It's now 1-on-3 as Messner gets pushed by Kudla. Messner's able to keep his feet as he battles 1-on-2. Now Kudla takes the puck away as Idaho starts their power play, skating from left to right. Colton Keller skates towards the right side near the corner, tried to drop it off, taken away by Betts, who clears it out. Brian Thompson towards his net with an outlet pass to Kudla. Kudla was looking to throw a pass to center ice, and his stick broke. Kudla's stick broke. He has to get a new one. Actually exits the ice as Bice drops it off. Idaho enters the offensive zone as Rassel throws it towards Bice. Back to Register, fumbles the puck, but keeps it in the zone. Over to Bice, just outside the left circle near the boards. Up top for Haskinen. He'll fire a righty shot. Oh, got redirected and goes wide as they were looking for Rassel out in front. Giannuzzi got a piece of it as Register to the left side, back to Bice. Left side, feeds it to the far goal line for Rassel. Fumbles the puck for a second. Giannuzzi pokes it away. Bice gets up top for Donahue. Donahue wearing number 24. Halfway through the power play, looked to center to Bice. He couldn't handle it as he was battling with Penner, and Underwood clears it out. 45 seconds left in the power play. Matt Register gets it. Register at neutral ice, drops off for Murphy, who skates down the middle. He crosses the center ice logo. Puck poked away by Underwood as Idaho in the offensive zone, as Register in the left point across to Becker. He's at the right point. He'll throw it over to the left side for Donnie. He'll take a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Grizzlies got a piece of it. I think it was Fitz and Underwood. As Becker throws to the left circle. Murphy back to Register. As Register glides towards the left point, he gets to Donahue. 2 defensemen on the shift for Idaho. Back up top for Register, who fakes a shot, skates towards the middle, takes lefty shot, and it's blocked. I think it hit his teammate Wade Murphy. Puck glides towards Giannuzzi. Now towards the end boards. Underwood couldn't clear it out. Now out of the penalty box is Dakota Raby as Cutler and Zane Franklin stay in the box. Becker moves it ahead to White. White to the right side. Nice spin move. Gets around Jensen. Takes a shot. Saved by Giannuzzi. Boy, the crafty veteran A.J. White with a spin move that somehow got around Cade Jensen. And then he was all alone. One-on-one battle with White and Giannuzzi. And Giannuzzi was able to make the save. And what a glove stop by Giannuzzi. And now out of the penalty box is Cutler for Utah and Franklin for Idaho. Both guys go to the bench. Both guys kind of stare each other down from the bench area. 6:19 left in the second. And draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. It looks like there's a timeout on the ice. We'll return in 30 seconds after this word from Rio Tinto.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Here's a quiz for you. After the game, we're going to test your knowledge on that Rio Tinto commercial. I want you to know word for word that Rio Tinto commercial by the end of tonight. That's the goal. We're tied at 1 here, 6:19 left in the second. Idaho's up to 17 shots. The Grizzlies have taken 11. And so it's a 7-6 edge for Idaho here in the second period. Neither team scored in the first. Jordan Martell, 1:18 into the second period, scored on the power play with Mayhew and Raby getting the assist. 11 seconds later, Zane Franklin tied it up on a centering pass from Aaron Aragon. Nick Nardella also with an assist. It's been a fun night of hockey here. And don't forget the season opener for the Grizzlies is 1 week from tonight against Tulsa at Maverick Center. Idaho wins the draw. Nick Canati, right point, lefty shot goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Giannuzzi, but goes to the left point, bounces off a power skate. Svanenbergs moves it towards the net, but the puck just kind of bounced towards the crease and taken by Brian Yoon, who taps it off the near glass, and it slides all the way on its side deep in the Steelhead zone and run down by Cooper Jones, who slides it towards Jade Miller. He couldn't handle it. Jordan Stone dumps it back in. Stone gets knocked down. That's going to be a penalty of Stone as he was dumping it in. Now Stone pushes Willie near him. Oh, they're going to give a penalty to Stone. And somebody else is going to go after him. Now Canati pushes Stone. Canati getting very physical, pushing his left arm on Stone. Stone tries to drop his gloves. So does Canati. We got a fight. Jordan Stone and Nick Canati at center ice. Stone, he swung around and tried to get him with a roundhouse. Now Canati connects on the left. Stone tries to drag down Canati. Canati drags down Stone. Boy, Stone, as he was trying to dump the puck in, now Stone and Canati yell at each other. Stone got hit by Neerum. Nick Canati fires up the crowd by putting both arms in the air. Canati's going to go to the locker room. He's not going to the penalty box. Stone goes to the box, and so does Willie Neerum. Stone was at center ice dumping it in, and Neerum hit him. And the official spotted it and called the penalty on Neerum. And then everybody on Idaho went and taunted Stone. Then Stone pushed Jade Miller, and Stone got a penalty as Miller had some words for him. And then Canati came in, just took his left glove and just kind of shoved it along Stone's face. And then Canati threw a right with his glove, and both guys said, we're going to fight. So they dropped the gloves. And then Stone spun around. Stone spun around and threw an elbow at Canati. I don't think I've seen that much. Now Register's yelling at Stone. Stone's going to the locker room. Yeah, Stone did a spin move and just kind of tried to elbow Canati. Got a little bit of a piece of him. And then Canati was able to get a couple lefts in and then a right. And then both guys just kind of wrestled with each other for about 5 seconds. And it looked like for a second Stone was going to drag down Canati, but instead Canati dragged down Stone. Canati and Stone are both in the locker room now. They're not in the penalty box. They're in the locker room. Willie Neerum's still in the box right now. He got that initial penalty hitting Stone as Stone was dumping it in. And then Matt Register was yelling at Stone, maybe for the spin move to start the fight. Register arguing his case with John Linder, the referee. Dylan Fitz over there representing the Grizzlies. Boy, fun at the old hockey game. 5:50 left in the second. I was wondering if we were going to get a fight here as the crowd is buzzing right now. Nick Canati is maybe the smallest of all the Steelheads going up against Jordan Stone. As we mentioned, Stone's looked pretty good here he looked pretty good in practice all week, and he's looked particularly good here in the preseason. So Stone gets 5 minutes. Niram gets 2 minutes. I mean, I wonder if that means Idaho is going to get a 3-minute power play. I mean, does Stone get an extra 5 minutes for the spin move? Trying to spin move, almost looking like he wanted to connect with an elbow there on Canati. Neutral zone draw. We're going to have to count the players here to figure out how many are on each side. As Kanasowicz talking with Lindner. Lindner kind of shaking his head. Kanasowicz doesn't look like he's too heated, although I'm looking at his back. It's hard to tell if somebody's heated when you're looking at their back. Lindner gives a thumbs up to the Idaho bench. So it looks like there's four guys to a side. I'm guessing Niram will come out of the box in 2 minutes, and that will give Idaho a power play for 3 minutes. So draw one by the Steelheads are at neutral ice. Register will back it deeper in the Steelhead zone as now he's behind Thompson's net. Grizzlies scored a 4-on-4 goal last night. Register very patient with the puck. He's still behind the net as Cutler challenges him. Now Register feeds it to the near side for Murphy. Cross ice pass to Donahue. Steps over the line with speed. They'll throw it across. Bice couldn't reach it. Now he gets it at the near goal line. Bice throws it up top for Donahue. He skates down the middle. Donahue with a lefty shot. It's blocked by Cutler. As Mayhew battles with Donahue. Mayhew gets pushed by Donahue. Donahue continues to drag down Mayhew. Look, Mayhew's not a very big guy, but he's not going to back down as Bice to the left side. Drops off for Register. Skates towards the left circle. Register behind the net, still the puck. He throws it up top for Cutler. Cutler back to Register, right side. Now centers it over. Shot to score. As Register centers it to tie Pelton Bice, who went 5-full on Giannuzzi. And the Steelheads have taken a 2-1 lead. I think this Idaho fan thinks I'm the Steelheads broadcaster. He tried to high-five me. As a 4-on-4 goal by Willie Niram. Willie Niram's in the penalty box. Ty Pelton Bice with a 4-on-4 goal with Matt Register getting the assist. Register ultra patient with the puck there. He just kind of controlled the action there for about that entire 49-second stretch. Dylan Stewart's going to the penalty box right now. As Stewart's in the box, we're continuing to skate 4-on-4 as Idaho wins the faceoff. They skate from left to right. As Bice over towards Jones. Jones skates to neutral ice, crosses center, back towards Rassel, pass behind him. Underwood over towards Betts. Now back to Giannuzzi, who throws it to the near side. As Underwood gets it, throws it across. As Cade Jensen. Jensen gets pushed by Nardella, moves it ahead to Raby, does Jensen. Raby gets the puck. He's still in the Grizzly zone as he kind of does one of those half circles and gets it to Jensen. 4.5 minutes left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-1. As Betts enters the zone, gets to Raby, who couldn't reach it. Betts chases back after it. One-on-one battle along the near boards. Jones and Raby. Jones and Raby both fall down as Betts joins the play with Cudla. Now they're battling along the near wall. Raby over towards Mayhew, who gets it poked away by Nardella. Yoon couldn't keep the line as he's at neutral ice. Yoon throws it back to Mayhew. Back to Yoon, who's at the Utah blue line. Yoon looks up at the scoreboard. Less than 4 minutes left in the second period. Grizzlies dump it in. As Cudla gets it, looks like Niram's going to come out of the box here, and Idaho will have a power play. Niram's out of the box, and Idaho will be on the man advantage for 3 minutes. Patrick Cudla towards the far corner. Throws to the point. The only guy there was a Grizzly. 2-on-2. Grizzlies enter the zone. Dylan Fitz from the right side. Gets cut off by White. And Cudla takes the puck as a Grizzly falls down, and that was Mayhew. Settles in as Register throws to White. He gets it back to the right point. Nobody was there. Donahue chases after it. Now throw it across to Register. Now left circle. Cyrus to Becker. Will take a righty shot. It's blocked by Underwood. Donahue right side. Skates towards the right circle. As Donahue over to Becker. Back to Donahue. As Donahue right circle. Surveys. Throws to Becker. Now back up top for Register. Now Donahue gets it right side. He skates towards the point. Gets around Messner. Now feeds it to the near goal line. As A.J. White fanned on it, keeps it, gets it back towards Becker along the near wall. Becker one-on-one battle with Messner. Becker Rolls it around the boards, cut off by Murphy behind the net. Now left wing. They tried to center it to White. He couldn't handle it. Grizzlies get it with Kyle Mayhew. Mayhew gets slashed. He gets high sticked. And yeah, that's called Wade Murphy. Good call by the referee. As Mayhew, because of his size, looks like Idaho's trying to bully him. Murphy skated towards the blue line. He was skating towards the bench. Mayhew was skating along the Idaho bench. Murphy slashed him on the knee and then high sticked him. Lindner called the high stick. And so that will do it for the power play. We're going to skate 4-on-4 with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second period. And that may be opposing team scouting report on Kyle Mayhew because he's only 5'8" and 170 pounds. They think they can play physical on him. But in the small sample size we've seen of Kyle Mayhew, he's not going to back down from anybody. Play getting physical here in the second frame. Idaho leads 2-1. Brandon Cutler will take the draw. I think if Utah scores, I'm going to find that same Steelheads fan. I'm going to high-five him. He thinks I'm Cam McGuire. Believe me, I'd love to be Cam McGuire, multi-award-winning broadcaster. Grizzlies win the draw. Cam McGuire watching this one. He'll be with the Steelheads all regular season. Grizzlies win the draw. Mayhew on the right side throws to Martell. Up top for Yoon. And so throw it to Cutler as we're skating 4-on-4. As Cutler rolls it around the wall. Gets to Martell on the right side. Martell gets pushed by Franklin. Now Yoon joins the play in the right point. 2-on-2 battle. Idaho gets it, and they clear it out of the zone. Jade Miller gets it. Left side. Miller take a lefty shot. And it goes wide. Got a piece of Franklin as he was skating by. As Idaho still with the puck. Heiskanen across to Franklin. Drops off for Miller. Now to Heiskanen. Back towards Franklin. He bobbles the puck as he was looking for a shot on the left side. Grizzlies get it, and they start the attack. Cutler crosses center ice. Good poke check by Kudla. Martell at neutral ice near Utah's bench. Throws to Yoon. Right wing pass to Cutler over to Mayhew. Oh, big time hit as Cutler got hit by Kudla. And Cutler gets back to his feet. Semick left side. Now exit the zone and he'll restart the attack for Utah. Semick will throw it towards the Steelheads bench. Puck kind of stayed there. Heiskanen gets the puck at the Idaho blue line. Cody Heiskanen patiently throws to Donahue on the far side. Side-to-side pass towards Keller. Connects. Keller skates towards the right circle. Takes a shot. And it bounced off of Giannuzzi's glove and taken by Semick. As Semick gets blasted by Colton Keller. Now a Grizzly goes down, and that's Betts at center ice. Franklin over to Keller, right side, and swung and fanned on it. Didn't get much on the shot from the right side. Puck goes back to Idaho. Jones skates towards his left. He gets it towards Keller. Now back to Donahue on the right side. Over towards Spandenberg's left side. Righty shot is blocked by the stick of Betts and flies out of play. 1:08 left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-1. 18 seconds left in the Jordan Stone 5-minute penalty. Looks like Dylan Stewart's representing him, and Stewart will come out of the box. Then 6 seconds later, after Stewart comes out of the box, it looks like Wade Murphy will exit the box for Idaho. 1:08 left in the second period. Idaho leads the shot count 20-11. Having some fun here on a Saturday night. Action is really picked up here in the second frame. Betts will take the draw against Willie Nerum, and Betts wins the face-off as action in the Grizzly zone. Utah skating from right to left as Kyle Mayhew carries it out of the zone. Mayhew gets poked away by Register as Mayhew is looking to enter in the attack zone. Puck deep in Idaho's zone. 2-on-3 battle along the boards. Idaho comes away with the puck. As Dylan Stewart comes out of the box. Nerum to the right side, gets to Heiskanen, who skates down the middle. Heiskanen righty shot. And a kick save by Giannuzzi. Now Murphy's out of the box. We're skating 5-on-5. 40 seconds left in the second period. Underwood to the right side. Righty shot. And a blocker save by Thompson as the puck flies out of play. Off the protective netting, so no fan gets a souvenir. 35.9 seconds left in the second. Idaho still leads 2-1. You know, when you got the best rivalry in the league, you're going to have some physical play, and that's what we've gotten here in the second frame. As Everett Sheen, the Idaho head coach, talking with his unit. Looks like same hairstyle with the Idaho coaches. Sheen, bald, and so is Keenan Kelly, the assistant. Draw one by the Grizzlies in the offensive zone as Yoon tried to hit Fitz, and the pass is picked off. Idaho looked to get it to Becker, and cutting it off was Jensen. Now Becker gets it back. Shot saved by Giannuzzi. 25 seconds left in the period. Up top for Jones in the right point. He feeds it to Pelton Bice, who's double-teamed. Bice over towards Kudlu, who gets around one skater. Now centers over to the right side. Shot and a score! As Cooper Jones has made it a 3-1 game. Idaho had the puck on the left side, fed it across to Jones. And Jones just slid it past Giannuzzi as it looked like Dante was looking towards the left side, and the pass kind of quickly ended up on the right. Jones really didn't have anybody near him, and he was able to score. 14 seconds left in the second, and Idaho's taking a 3-1 lead. There's a crafty play by Idaho as the Grizzlies just didn't account for Jones on the right side. Kudla's going to get the main assist for the Steelheads. Draw one by Idaho, 12 seconds left in the period. As Patrick Kudla at neutral ice will move it ahead to center ice for Keller. Keller will one-time tap it deep in the Grizzly zone. Giannuzzi behind his net will throw it to the far side. Now back to Semick in the near corner. He couldn't handle it. Now we'll do it for 40 minutes of play here at Idaho Central Arena. It was scoreless after one. Jordan Martell got on the board first on the power play, 1:18 in, and Idaho responded with 3 unanswered. We'll come back and recap the second period. A lot of action and a very entertaining fight between Nick Canati and Jordan Stone. Stone putting on a move you don't normally see. Both Canati and Stone spent the rest of the second period in the locker room. We'll recap the first 40 minutes of play, and we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports. Through 2 periods here at Idaho Central Arena in the second and final preseason game for the Grizzlies in Idaho. It's Steelheads 3, Grizzlies 1. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
Idaho leads 3-1. Second intermission here at Idaho Central Arena as Chuck-a-Puck is going on right now. There are a lot of good arms here in Boise tonight. Quite a few pucks near the center ice face-off dot. Former Grizzlies employee Brent Countryman will look at the winning puck. Countryman, bald head and sporting a beard. I think it's his second stint with these Steelheads. Neither team scored in the first period. Idaho outshot Utah 10-5. Jordan Martell got the Grizzlies on the board 1:18 in as Wade Murphy got a boardy minor 1:02 in and 16 seconds into the power play. Jordan Martell and a one-timer from the left circle connected, and the Grizz drew first blood. And at that point, the Grizzlies had outscored the Steelheads 7-0 here in the preseason, winning 6-0 last night and scoring first this evening. Idaho responded 11 seconds later. That's right, the Grizzlies only had the lead for 11 seconds as Zane Franklin scored as he was out in front of the net. Aaron Aragon was over at the far goal line, just fed it across to Franklin. It looked like it bounced off of Giannuzzi's glove and then trickled past the goal line, and so it wasn't necessarily a clean goal past him. And that tied it up 1:29 into the second. Nardella and Aragon on the assist on the Franklin goal. It stayed a 1-1 game for quite a while. 14-10 into the second period. Jordan Stone was at center ice, dumped it in. Willie Nerum hit him. Nerum got an interference minor, and then Nerum immediately started having some words with Stone. Stone looked like Jade Miller came in trying to confront Stone and having some words, and then apparently Stone speared him because he got a game misconduct for spearing, and that's kind of what he did, kind of jabbing a stick at Miller. And then Nick Canati came in and just said, we're going to fight. So he took his left arm and just kind of shoved it towards Stone's face. And Stone and Canati at that point just agreed, we're going to fight. So they dropped the gloves. And then Stone at center ice, and I thought maybe the game misconduct would be they were squaring up, and then Stone put on a spin move. Looked like a spin move, and then, tried to almost get him with an elbow. Canati, it looked like Stone sort of connected, but sort of didn't. Just kind of a glancing blow. And then, both guys kind of settled back in. Canati got a couple punches in. He got a left, and then he got a right. And then Stone looked like he got a body shot in. And then at that point, both guys tried to wrestle each other to the ice. At first, it looked like Stone was going to drag Canati to the ice, and then Canati was able to get on top of Stone and drag him at the center ice logo. And that broke things up. Matt Register looked like he was pretty heated. And it looks like the penalties out of that. Niram got the interference minor that started that thing. And then Canati and Stone each got 5 for fighting. Stone got a 10-game misconduct for spearing. And Nick Canati got a misconduct for continuing altercation. So looks like we'll see Canati in the third period if the box score is right. Sometimes it's not. We'll probably see Canati in the third period, assuming that the box score is correct. Wade Murphy got a high sticky minor later on in the second period. So special teams really have played a factor in terms of the Grizzlies, who are 1 for 4 on the power play. All 3 of Idaho's goals were scored even strength. 2 5-on-5 goals. The middle goal that was scored by Ty Pelton-Bice. We haven't even gotten to that. While it was 4-on-4, Ty Pelton-Bice scored exactly 15 minutes into the second period with Matt Register and Patrick Kudla getting the assists. Really, that whole stretch there, that 49-second stretch of 4-on-4 action was really controlled by Register. As Idaho won the face-off, Register started out deep in his own zone, just kind of casually glided into the offensive zone, and he was able to make that play. It seemed like Register had the puck for about 40 of those 49 seconds, and Idaho took a 2-1 lead. And then with 15 seconds left in the second, it was Cooper Jones that scored. Patrick Kudla and Ty Pelton-Bice with the assist as Kudla was over in the left circle, and the Grizzlies just didn't account for Jones, as Jones was just cutting towards the right wing. He got a pass from Kudla, and it looked like Giannuzzi was a little bit slow to react back towards his left, and Jones was able to get it past him, and that made it a 3-1 game. And that's where we stand now. We'll skate 5-on-5 here to start the third period. Kind of fun interaction. This fan thought it was the Idaho broadcaster, so when the Steelheads scored their second goal, he was looking for a high five. You know what? I wasn't going to leave him hanging, so I sort of gave him a high five back, even though he thinks I'm Cam McGuire, I think. And believe me, I'd love to be Cam McGuire, a multi-award-winning broadcaster. He was the broadcaster of the year back with Worcester in the 2021-22 season. Last year, he won the Media Relations Award. I think that's now named after Joe Babick, who works at the league. And, hey, we'd all like to be Cam McGuire, but I'm just here occupying one of the spots, and Steelhead fans can enjoy the dulcet tones. I don't know. I've heard somebody use that phrase before, but Cam McGuire will be doing the Steelheads regular season and postseason games. Steelheads not doing a broadcast here in the preseason, so we welcome the Idaho fans who have decided to tune in, and hopefully I'm not too annoying here through the first 2 periods of tonight's game. When we come back, we'll go over some scores around the world of sports, some NHL scores. Tulsa and Allen had an interesting final in that one at BOK Center, and eventually we'll get to third period action. As it looks like we got about 10 minutes on the intermission clock. As Utah scored first with Jordan Martz, 1:18 into the second. 3 unanswered for Idaho. They lead 3-1 on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
guys put together. A lot of good games, you know.
Second intermission here at Idaho Central Arena. Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 3-1. Many games in the NHL tonight. The finals, Ottawa defeated Philadelphia 5-2. Winnipeg over the Florida Panthers 6-4. Florida, the defending Eastern Conference champions, but they're now 0-2 on the season. Boston over Nashville 3-2. Columbus defeated the New York Rangers 5-3 tonight. New York, the favorite team of Tim Broussard, and so he's probably not happy tonight. The Rangers trail, and so do the Grizzlies. 5-3 the final there, Columbus over the Rangers. Red Wings defeat the Lightning 6-4. Montreal over Chicago 3-2. Connor Bedard had 1 assist for the Blackhawks. Penguins defeat the Flames 5-2. Maple Leafs over the Wild 7-4. Looks like the Maple Leafs off to a good start offensively. Islanders over the Sabres 3-2. And in a shootout, St. Louis defeated Seattle 2-1. 4 games in progress. First intermission, Vancouver leads Edmonton 2-1. Boy, Vancouver really had their way with Edmonton in the opener, and we'll see if Edmonton can get off to a better outing tonight, although they've allowed 2 first-period goals. That Vancouver leads Edmonton 2-1. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, they trail San Jose 1-0 that game in the first intermission. And also after 1, Vegas leads Anaheim 1-0. Halfway through the first period, Carolina has a 2-0 lead over the LA Kings. And hopefully a lot of hockey fans went over and saw that preseason game at Delta Center. Kings actually played a lot of their regulars in the lineup a couple weeks ago in that preseason game, so it certainly would have been good for the fans to be there because they got their money's worth and were able to see quite a few really good NHL players. Some Steelheads fans, the lights are off, turn on their camera phone lights or their phone lights as they're playing Africa. I think it's the original Africa song by Toto, or at least I think that's what his name was, not the remake version that Weezer had. And fans just taking their phones and going back and forth with them. It looks like a pretty fun atmosphere here in Boise. I remember when this tradition started, they couldn't believe it. I think it was actually a preseason game here in Boise a handful of years ago. Second intermission, the lights were out, and they played this song, Africa, which I think was from the 1980s, and fans just started taking their phones out and just kind of, just turn the light on, turn the, phone light on and just kind of waved it back and forth. Pretty fun atmosphere here in Boise. College football was not a fun night for BYU, who lost 44-11 to TCU. Utah over Cal, 34-14. In a game that's got some local interest here in Boise. 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Boise State leads Colorado State 14-0. It's a road game for Boise State as it's played at Fort Collins. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Oregon State leads UCLA 36-24. And the big game at Notre Dame Stadium. It looks like that game has now gone final. Let's see who ended up victorious there, as Notre Dame had an 18-point lead late in the third quarter. And Notre Dame has held on to win. In fact, they extended the score and extended the lead. Final score from South Bend, Notre Dame 48, USC 20. It kind of felt like it was bound to happen for USC, who had close calls against Colorado and Arizona. Not exactly two of the powerhouses in the Pac-12, and USC really struggled defensively once again this evening as they gave up 48 points to Notre Dame. Final score, Notre Dame 48, USC 20. Big game at 1:30 earlier in the afternoon. Washington, who's ranked 7th in the country, defeated 8th-ranked Oregon 36-33. Let's go over some ECHL scores here in the preseason. Looks like this is the only game going on right now. Every other one has gone final. In overtime, Kalamazoo defeated Toledo 4-3. Worcester over Maine 4-2. It was also a 4-2 final as Savannah defeated Jacksonville. Fort Wayne defeats Iowa 3-2. It was also a 3-2 final as Cincinnati defeated Indy. In that Fort Wayne game, former Grizzly forward Cameron Wright had 1 assist. We certainly are rooting on Cameron Wright, and except for those 3 games, he'll play against the Grizzlies in December. And Taryn Pfizer, who's with the Belleville Senators of the AHL. And it seemed like when Ottawa Senators had their development camp seemed like the only guy they were posting about, I would say tweeting about, but that's not a thing anymore. It is X. I guess you call them posts. I think you'd probably call them X's, I guess. I don't know. You can follow me on X, a platform formerly known as Twitter, at Tyson on Sports. Cameron Wright had 1 assist. I think he's going to have a big year for Fort Wayne. And for Belleville, this could be a big year for Taryn Pfizer, especially if he can regularly be in the lineup and really provide some scoring punch for that Belleville unit, because we saw Taryn Pfizer be a consistent force for the Grizzlies all season. And he showed a lot of toughness at times, especially there in the final game of the regular season. And I think Taryn Pfizer's got a bright future. So watch out for Taryn Pfizer with the Belleville Senators. One other game that's gone final, a Mountain Division matchup, as Tulsa defeats Allen 6-0. So Tulsa, their first preseason game, they get a victory 6-0. Remember, the Oilers are going to be at Maverick Center next week. You're 7 days away from the Grizzlies home opener. That's going to be a ton of fun. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com or call 801-988-8000. That's 801-988-8000. And speaking of UtahGrizzlies.com, looks like all the websites of all the teams in the ECHL, including ECHL.com, got a facelift. Looks like a new look and a very sharp-looking website. Go to UtahGrizzlies.com to get your tickets for the upcoming season. We've mentioned it before, but Utah is going to be home for 7 straight games to begin the regular season, and they'll also be home for 10 of their first 13 games. Tulsa is going to be in town the first weekend, and then the Idaho Steelheads will be at Maverick Center for a 2-game set, October 27th and 28th. And don't forget that Friday game is going to be the first AFCU Friday of the season. That's right, AFCU Fridays are back. And you talk about maybe the best promotion in all of sports. $8 these days can't even get you a good dinner, but it can get you a ticket to the Grizzlies games on Friday. They'll take on the Idaho Steelheads, the best rivalry in the league, as they're playing YMCA here at Idaho Central Arena. That's going to be the 3rd game of the regular season. First AFCU Friday of the year. This is going to be the first of 14 matchups between the Grizzlies and Steelheads this year, as that's going to be a 7-10 start. The 2-game set against Tulsa. Opening night next Saturday is going to be at 7:10, and then Sunday, October 22nd, will be at 3:10. Sunday games this season will be at 3:10, as well as the Martin Luther King Day game. That's going to be a 3:10 start. Really, any game that doesn't start at 7:10 at Maverick Center is going to start at 3:10. Looks like both teams are heading on the ice here, and we'll have third period action in 2 minutes. As Dante Giannuzzi works on the ice, as Utah is going to be skating from left to right here in the 3rd period. Idaho from right to left. Brian Thompson was a little bit more busy in the 2nd period, as Utah had 5 shots in the 1st and 7 in the 2nd. Thompson has stopped 11 of 12. Giannuzzi, on the other hand, has stopped 20 of 23. I mentioned the goaltending situation that the Eagles had. We mentioned before the game that Trent Miner, the Grizzlies' all-time shutout king in the 3rd year of a 3-year NHL entry-level deal with the Avalanche, he started the season opener for the Eagles. That's interesting to note, because normally you put your top guy there on opening night. So it looks like Trent Miner's going to have a big role with the Eagles. Might end up seeing him in Utah. It's hard to say. But Trent Miner stopped 22 of 25 in a 3-2 Colorado loss. I think the Eagles are playing again today, if I remember right. And we'll see who ends up in net. We'll probably find out after the game. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the goaltending situation. I think the Grizzlies have to really like their 1-2 combination as it stands right now. Garrett Metcalf with a 39-save shutout last night. He's really become a team leader. And Dante Giannuzzi, I mean, it's kind of interesting to talk about the goals that, Idaho scored here in the 2nd period. I think it was more, that one late in the 2nd period, the defensive unit just didn't account for Jones. It's one of those where Idaho's done a good job of getting traffic out in front of the net and really challenging Giannuzzi. It's one of those things. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a quick glove. And he just looks like he moves from side to side pretty well. So I think Dante Giannuzzi here in his first pro game, he's handling himself well, and we'll see what happens during the regular year. Remember with Garrett Metcalf, in previous years, he was on an ECHL contract, and usually it's kind of with the 3-goalie system you'd have in Utah. It'd be an NHL contract guy, that'd be Trent Miner, and then usually an AHL contract guy, which last year is Lucas Preek. Well, this year with Metcalf having the AHL deal with the Eagles, he'll probably get more playing time this year. Utah wins the draw. Jordan Martell skates towards the left side. Over to the circle, gets around Donahue, pokes it away. Good job by Seamus Donahue. Near him tried to clear it out and couldn't. Mick Nessner, left side, lefty shot, kick saved by Thompson. Mayhew gets it, he tried to feed Cutler out in front, and the pass goes wide. Now Martell over to Cutler on the far side. As Grizzlies in the offensive zone. As Semick trying to get it back towards Cutler, and Idaho picks it off. Steelheads from right to left. They have numbers 3-on-3. As Becker towards the left side took a righty shot, and it goes wide. As it goes back to Donahue, back to Register, high slot, lefty shot. And it bounces off his teammate, Willie Nerum, who was net front. He skates towards the corner, gets held up by Mayhew. Jade Miller spins it along the wall. Jacob Semick hits it off at Donahue, and it rolls back to Kyle Mayhew behind Utah's net. About 55 seconds into the third period, and Idaho still nursing a 3-1 lead as both teams make their first line change of the frame. As Mayhew will start the attack. He skates towards the right wing. Now he veers off to the left. Left wing pass to Betts. Now towards Power. Left point. Lefty shot. Glove saved by Thompson. And he holds on as Kyle Mayhew really doing a good job initiating the attack. Kind of slowly getting it out of the zone. Then just with a burst towards center ice. Couple passes. Puck ended up with Power on the left side. But Brian Thompson made the stop. Thompson's an intriguing prospect. 21 years old for Idaho. On an AHL deal with the Texas Stars. Face off in the Steelhead zone. Left circles won by Idaho. As Patrick Kudla will tap it off the near glass. Rassel battles with Underwood. Puck goes back to Kudla. Kudla gathers the puck. Tried to throw it to Rassel. It's behind him. And glides towards Cade Jensen in the Grizzlies zone. He moves ahead to Underwood. Cross-ice pass towards Power. And Power stick breaks. He has to get a new one from new equipment manager Jackson Hibbert. As Grizzlies get it from the left side. Cole Gallant steps over the line. As Gallant trying to feed it out in front to Betts, and the Steelheads got a stick in the way. Arm is raised, and it's going to be a penalty on the Grizzlies as Cole Gallant was behind the net, tried to center it out in front, and he high-sticked Patrick Kudla. I don't think Gallant tried to do that. I don't even think he saw Kudla, but Kudla got his face in front of the stick, and it's going to be an Idaho power play with 18-18 left in the third. Steelheads are 0 for 2 on the power play so far. I've seen a few sticks break here tonight. Mayhew had his stick break in warm-ups. And just there, Jared Power broke his stick, and it wasn't like he was taking a shot. He was trying to get a pass, and his stick just broke in two. Kudla had his stick break at an odd time as well tonight. Idaho wins the draw. Register over to Murphy. Cross ice towards Donahue. Look to center to White, who had to bounce off his stick and glides towards the near corner. White battles with Mayhew. Yoon joins the play as they get it over to Yakura, and Dean Yakura will sail it all the way towards Brian Thompson. Yakura comes off the ice. The Grizzlies get 4 fresh skaters. 2 minutes into the third period, early on in Idaho's power play. Steelheads lead 3-1. They throw it back to Murphy, who crosses center ice. Murphy glides towards his left wing pass to White, who's near the boards. Idaho in the offensive zone as Murphy skates around Utah's net. As they get it up top for Register, he'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Cook. It's taken by Becker. Left wing pass near the boards to Donahue. Glides towards the circle. Now to Murphy. He'll take a shot. He scores. Power play goal for Idaho as Donahue threw it to the left side. Back towards Murphy. I'm the Utah broadcaster. And Murphy fired a start power play goal with 17:32 left in the third. I left that fan hanging. I let him know I'm the Utah broadcaster. I'm not high-fiving you, dude. Murphy scored. He was really left all alone along the near goal line. Donahue's going to get an assist. And Murphy, who had 21 goals in the regular season, gets a preseason tally. And Idaho has scored 4 unanswered here after Martell scored the power play goal 1:18 into the second. Idaho wins the power play, wins the face-off, as now we're skating 5-on-5. Aragon dumps it in. Giannuzzi behind his net. Gets over to Yoon. As Yoon's over to the near side, as they lift it in the air. Martell chasing after. It's taken back by Kudla in the Steelhead zone over to Aragon. Right wing pass to Nardella. He skates towards the right circle, trying to feed it to Franklin. Got occupied by Cutler. Idaho skates in, shot and a score. And it's now 5-1 as Zane Franklin gets his second of the game. And this baby's in the refrigerator as the Steelheads have scored 5 unanswered over the last period. Franklin salutes everybody on the Steelheads bench, including the goaltender Brian Thompson. As this game has gotten away from the Grizzlies here, as Idaho's really done it with all 3 forward lines, as Nardella was on the right side, kind of slid it. Then the puck played Plinko a little bit, and then Franklin was just in the crease and slid it past the goal line. 5-1 Idaho as Utah wins the faceoff. Mayhew throws to Underwood. He's on the right side, throws it back towards Power. Power enters the zone, gets the Betts back to Power just outside the left circle. Power tries to get to Mayhew, passes wide. Mayhew gathers it to neutralize. He'll move it to his right for Gallant. Left wing pass to Power. Now back to Mayhew's near the Utah blue line as Mayhew over to Underwood in the near circle. Underwood back to Mayhew in front of Utah's net. He'll start the attack as Mayhew gets around Svanenbergs. At center ice, Mayhew glides in the attack zone, skates towards the right circle. Kudla pokes it away. A.J. White throws to center ice as he'll tap it off the far boards. Neutral ice, Jacob Semick drives it around the wall. As Idaho, Kudla throws it to Jones. Cooper Jones had a good night. He gets to center ice and he'll wrap it around the wall. Jones played in France last year at a second division level. Yoon to Penner, across the center ice and dumps it in towards the left corner as Heiskanen gets it back to Jade Miller, who slides it towards the Idaho bench. Yoon gathers it, moves it ahead, goes back over to Heiskanen, who taps it off the near boards. Yoon gathers it at center ice, and he'll skate back into his own zone. Over to Cade Jensen, who taps it off the near boards. Messner, did he get a piece of it? The linesman said he did. No icing as Idaho chases after it. Heiskanen around his net, now moves to center ice for Niram, who couldn't handle it. Puck goes back to Utah as Underwood will throw it to the left side for Messner, who has it tap off his stick, and it flies into the Steelhead zone as Messner comes off the ice, replaced by Cameron Cook. 4.5 minutes into the third period, Idaho leads 5-1. As Yakura gets challenged by Becker, as Becker battles with Yakura at the Utah blue line. Becker goes down, blue line to blue line. It goes back to Heiskanen near Idaho's end. So Steelheads have control of the puck as Register moves it across off the stick of Willie Niram, tapped off the glass. And it goes back to Utah. Cade Jensen, ahead to Cook. Now back towards Dylan Stewart as Murphy chases after it. Stewart keeps the puck as he gets around Murphy. Now Stewart on one knee, taps off the near boards. Rassel gets it near goal line. He skates around Utah's net. Rassel around the wall towards Register, who looked to center it. Tapped off a stick, and Giannuzzi makes a save as Murphy with a one-time tap out in front. Grizzlies ice the puck as the puck kind of skips over towards the Idaho blue line. The arm is raised by Eric Landquist, the linesman. And icing is on the Grizzlies. We head back towards Giannuzzi for the faceoff. 14 minutes, 47 seconds left in the third. I think that fan in front was pretty disappointed when he found out I wasn't the Steelheads broadcaster. I didn't want to leave him hanging, so I had to let him know, you know. Having fun here tonight, despite the scoreboard kind of turning in Idaho's favor here in the preseason game. Utah won 6-0 last night, and it looks like Idaho in control here this evening. Draw one by the Steelheads over to the high slot. Cutler with a shot, and it's blocked by Cook. Cameron Cook's blocked a few shots here in the preseason, and a few here tonight. Cudlow will tap it off the far boards. Cook gets it back. He skates towards his right. Cook's got good speed. Cameron Cook throws it back into the Grizzly zone, taken by Underwood, who moves it ahead towards the Idaho blue line. Martell gets it. He gets around Bice. They try to get it to Raby. Idaho gets a stick in the way. Steelheads have been pretty good with active sticks here tonight as Wade Murphy carries it out looking for Rassel. He couldn't reach it at neutral ice. As Mayhew moves it ahead looking for Cutler. That pass didn't complete as Bice will throw it to Register, who's played a lot of minutes tonight. Drops it off for Bice. As 6 minutes into the third period, Idaho leads 5-1. As Register over to the near side, will lift it out to center ice. Puck wobbles on its side, gathered by Semick. Across to Mayhew, back to Semick down the middle. He gets the neutral ice. He crosses center. Semick slides it towards his left for Martell, dumps it in. As Register spins it along the wall. Aragon, who's got one assist tonight, moved it towards Nardella. As the fans take up a Let's Go Steelheads chant. As Aragon to the left side, being chased by Betts, drops it off for Franklin. He feeds it across, nobody home in the right circle. Raby gathers it. Grizzlies 3-on-2. They cross center ice. Looking for Mayhew. It tapped off his stick. He chases after it. Puck goes back to neutralize. Big time hit delivered on Kyle Betts. That was Aaron Aragon. 2-on-3 as Idaho looked to center it. And Giannuzzi pokes it back to the right point. Nardella over to Aragon. He drops it off for Register. Register right side. A lot of action out in front of the net as Raby and Franklin drop the gloves. Franklin and Raby wrestle each other in front of the crease. Franklin throws his other glove. Franklin gets in a body shot and drags down Dakota Raby. As Franklin and Raby were battling in the crease, just battling for that real estate. And both guys got a little bit too physical for each other's liking. Franklin got in 2 body shots and then dragged Raby to the ice. Raby tried to hang in there, and then eventually they both dropped the gloves. Looked like Franklin Took him a couple seconds to get rid of his left glove and got the body shot in and then dragged down Raby. So Zane Franklin and Dakota Raby each sent to the penalty box. Let's see if that's going to be a fight for Franklin. He's got the 2 goals tonight. Does he also have an assist? That'd give him the Gordie Howe hat trick. 13-11 left in the third period. It's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 1. Franklin just with the 2 goals. He needs an assist for the Gordie Howe hat trick. He's got a +2 rating tonight. So Raby's in the box. Looks like Nick Canadi's in there as well as he got the misconduct late in the second period. So Canadi will come out and rejoin here in a few minutes. Referee talking with Dylan Fitz. Nobody out there representing Idaho. It's just Fitz having a conversation with Lindner. Don't forget, 7 days from now is opening night at Maverick Center. We've had the countdown going on in the Grizzlies office, and it feels a little bit surreal that the countdown is down to 7. That's opening night here at there at Maverick Center. We're here at Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads begin the season on Friday night, 6 days from now, against the Allen Americans. Allen looks like it's going to be a pretty tough team, even though they lost 6-0 tonight, led by second-year head coach Chad Costello. He actually played in 3 ice this season. That's where Matt Register played. Register played for the Champs, the Larry Murphy team, when the 3-on-3 league that is coached by NHL legends, and Matt Register is just about the best player in that league this past summer. Register is on the Steelheads bench, talking it over with a couple forwards. As looks like 2 minutes are on the board for Kyle Betts. And actually, Franklin got the 2 minutes for Idaho, and it's going to be a Grizzlies power play. 5-1 Idaho. Franklin got an extra 2 minutes. There's now 3 Steelheads in the penalty box as it's getting a little bit crowded there. 5-on-4 power play for Utah for 2 minutes. Cutler will take the draw against Idaho's Giannis Vandenbergs. Here, tickets for every Grizzlies home game at the new and improved UtahGrizzlies.com or call 801-988-8000. That's 801-988-8000. Cutler crouches down for the face-off against Vandenbergs, and the draw won by Utah as Martell over to Mayhew. Back to Martell on the left side. Gets it down the middle for Power. Back to Mayhew on the right side. He loses the puck. He trips up A.J. White, and it's going to be a penalty on the Grizzlies. Probably a good penalty for Mayhew to pick up as he was falling down. Tripped A.J. White as White, if he would have kept his balance, would have had a breakaway. Short-handed, Mayhew tripped him up, and that will do it for the Grizzlies. Power plays. We'll skate 4-on-4 for a minute 48, and then Idaho will have a very abbreviated power play after that. 12:58 left here in regulation as Idaho has scored 5 unanswered after Utah scored the first goal of the night. 1:18 into the second with Jordan Martell. Zane Franklin has 2 goals for Idaho. 2 assists for Aaron Aragon. 1 goal, 1 assist for Ty Pelton-Bice, 2 assists for Nick Nardella. As Utah wins the draw, skating from left to right, skating 4-on-4. They scored a 4-on-4 goal last night in the second period. As Martell enters the zone from the left side, as he's dancing around the point, being shadowed by Donahue. As he gets over to Brian Hume. High slot, righty shot to score! Brian Hume points to Underwood. Cutler out in front of the net. Underwood looks like he's the one that's going to get credited for the goal out in front. Brian Hume was in the high slot, just fired the crafty-looking wrist shot from the high slot, and puck had ice. It looked like it got redirected. Hume pointed to Michael Underwood. Looks like Underwood's going to get his first of the preseason. Yeah, it did get deflected as Underwood was about halfway from the blue line to the goal line. He got a piece of it, and the puck ended up in the back of the net. So Michael Underwood's going to get the goal with Brian Hume getting an assist, and I think the Rooster will as well. 5-2 game as we're still skating 4-on-4. Underwood has it at center ice after Utah won the faceoff. He throws it back to Yoon as the Grizzlies want to be patient with their approach here. Although they are down by 3. As Underwood has it deep in the Grizzlies corner on the near side. He'll throw it back to Brian Yoon, the Colorado captain last year. He slides it to center ice for Cutler, who couldn't handle it. Puck goes back to Martell. He overskates it. Near him over to Jade Miller in the left point as Idaho's in the offensive zone. Well, tapping off the boards, Idaho. Cooper Jones, far goal line, looks to center it, and it bounced off Giannuzzi. Grizzlies throw it out to the high slot, and Idaho keeps it in. Kudla over to Miller on the right side. He'll take a lefty shot, and it goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Giannuzzi. Puck goes to the left point and out of the zone as Idaho will reset. Willie Niram will get it over to Nardella as he replaces Cooper Jones. 11:41 and counting left in the third. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4 as Idaho leads 5-2. Grizzlies have goals from Martell and Underwood. As Idaho, Donahue skates towards the left side as he skates towards a corner now around the net as he's challenged by Semick, the Arizona State product. Keller throws it out in front towards Nardella, already 2 assists tonight. Nardella dances around. He couldn't handle it initially. Heiskanen throws it towards Donahue. Soft pass, and Jensen clears it out to center. Now it goes deeper into the Steelheads zone as out of the penalty box is Aaron Aragon as Idaho gets the puck skating from right to left. They're still in their own zone. Pass ahead to Nardella, who carries it across center ice. Nardella into the zone, over to the right side, gets around Jensen. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Giannuzzi. Mayhew's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5 skating as Giannuzzi makes the save and holds on with 10:54 left in the third. All right, a lot of fun action here tonight. 2 4-on-4 goals for the Grizzlies here in the preseason. One yesterday with Cade Jensen scoring about halfway through the second period, and Michael Underwood redirecting the Brian Yoon shot, 7:21 into the third. Martell with an assist. They haven't given an assist yet to Yoon, although he should, as he took the initial shot. That was redirected by Underwood. 10:54 left in the third. Idaho's outshot Utah 27-16. Grizzlies win the face-off. Stewart gets towards center ice. He gets challenged by Mark Rassel. Grizzlies throw it to Yoon at center ice. He skates towards his left. He gets poked away by Murphy. Yakura takes over, and he'll dump it in as Cook behind his net gets double-teamed, and Cooper Jones throws it back towards the corner. As chasing after it's Bice, he'll throw it back to Jones, who will tap it off the far boards. Hits Underwood's stick, and he'll throw it to Yakura, sporting a beard. Dean Yakura throws to the far corner. Register glides over there, and he gets the puck. Now he gets it to Jones. Jones behind Idaho's net as the Steelheads will spread the ice. We're skating 5-on-5 here about halfway through the third period. Jones slides to center ice, and it's taken by Messner. Now at center ice battle, Grizzlies throw it back into their own zone. Penner gets it poked away by Register. Register gets it back and gets to Heiskanen in his own zone. Heiskanen in the near circle, throws it D to Register on the far side. As Register danced around, does a half circle around Tyler Penner. Now throws it to Heiskanen. Back to Jack Becker. It gets slashed by Messner, no call. Idaho enters the zone from the right point as Jade Miller gets pushed by Jensen. Puck exits the zone. Kudla near the Grizzlies bench, fires a shot. Giannuzzi will hold on, and with Willie Niram skating towards Giannuzzi, just holds on to it as we get a whistle and a timeout with 9:39 left in the third. Nick Canati is out of the penalty box as he's done serving his misconduct as both teams head to their respective bench areas. Idaho 5, Utah 2. We're back in 30 seconds after this word from Rio Tinto.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
5-2 Idaho as one of sports traditions. Sweet Caroline being played here at Idaho Central Arena. Utah Grizzlies hockey brought to you by Coca-Cola, where real magic is only a sip away. Grizzlies hockey also brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company. At Mountain Land, they are committed to making their customers' business better. Progressive change, creating a remarkable experience and enriching our community. That's Mountain Land Supply Company. Well, it's been that kind of night where I can't even say the word remarkable. And it's preseason for everybody, I guess. Draw in the Grizzlies zone near side is won by Idaho as they throw it back towards the left point. Heiskanen gets checked by Dylan Fitz as Niram gets taken away by Mayhew. Throws it from one corner to the other as Cade Jensen throws it past Messner as Kudla handles the puck. Now goes to Heiskanen. Now to Becker, back to Heiskanen, who's at neutral ice. Heiskanen will back it out into the Steelhead zone. Idaho skating from right to left here in the third period as Kudla center ice dumps it in. Giannuzzi kicks it to the far corner. Jensen battles with Niram. Now Messner takes over the puck as he skates over there. Right point. Idaho keeps it in. They fan on a pass as Messner picks it off. Cross-ice feed towards Dylan Fitz. Fitz skates into the zone. He gets poked away by Canadi in his first shift since his misconduct. As Idaho crosses center ice, Miller wraps it around the wall. Giannuzzi cuts it off, and he'll get it to Jacob Semick. 8:43 and counting left in the third. Idaho leads 5-2. Semick towards Martell. Now to Brandon Cutler at neutral ice. Cutler gets around Colton Keller, gains center ice, and dumps it in. Puck rolls around the wall. Cameron Cook gets cut off by Nick Canadi as they hold each other up in the near corner. Puck squirts back to neutral ice as Underwood moves ahead. It glanced off a white stick. Keller dumps it back in as Underwood takes it in the Grizzlies zone. As he'll throw it to Jacob Semick in the far circle. Across to Martell gets it. He gets around A.J. White as Martell crosses center ice. Martell with the left wing feed towards Semick, who skates towards the corner. Semick, sharp angled shot, saved by Thompson. As Idaho gets it, Canadi battles with Cook. And now Svanenbergs throws it, tries to exit the zone. Martell kept it in. As Idaho loses it, as Cameron Cook gets blasted by A.J. White. Left wing Martell shot saved by Thompson. As Martell gets hit, thought he got hit with a high stick. He goes down. The arm is now raised by the referee. Elbowing is going to be the call. Well, it looked like the official wasn't going to make a call. And then when Martell went down, the linesman went, or the referee went, on second thought, yeah, penalty. Canadi argues this case. Martell back to his feet. 2 minutes for elbowing is Nick Canadi, and yeah, it is a good call. It was a late call by John Lindner, but he did hit Martell with an elbow. Canadi couldn't believe it, as it looked like initially for about 2 seconds, Lindner didn't make a call, and then eventually he made the call for a penalty. It was a good call, even though Idaho's arguing that it was a late call. Doesn't really matter. 7:50 left in the third. Idaho 5, Utah 2. Grizzlies on the power play for 2 minutes as Canadi once again in the box. Kyle Betts will take the face-off. He's got Underwood to his left, Messner to his right, Gallant and Brian Yoon up top. 2 defensemen, 3 forwards for the Grizzlies on this power play shift. Weiss takes a draw against Kyle Betts. Betts wins the face-off. Yoon to the left side across to Gallant. Gallant battles with Nierum as Messner spins it around the wall. Messner wearing number 10. Last year it was James Schur that wore that number. Schur in the EIHL this year. Gallant right circle, righty shot. And it glanced off the stick of Register and flies out of play. Good block by Matt Register as Gallant tried to feed it in there. As we'll have a face-off in the right circle. 7:34 left in the third. 1:44 left in Utah's power play. Betts will take the draw against Pelton Bice. Betts wins the face-off. Second face-off win for Betts here on the power play. Gallant in the right point up top for Yoon in the high slot. Down to the left side for Underwood. Back towards Betts. Bouncing puck, he couldn't get it. Puck glides on its side as Yoon gets it at center ice. Grizzlies reset. Cole Gallant wearing number 25 gets poked away by Register. Now Utah enters the zone. Messner gets held up. Now gets to Betts. Lefty shot. Saved by Thompson. As Betts was over towards the right side, just kind of glided a little bit towards his left to get a shooting angle. But Thompson made a glove save with 7:09 left in the third. 1:19 left in the Grizzlies power play. Both teams make a line change. Martell enters. He'll take the face-off. Raby to his left and Fitz to his right. Up top is Cutler and Mayhew. Utah wins the face-off. Cutler over towards Mayhew. Back to Cutler on the right side, just outside the circle. Across to Martell. One-timer, he scores! The Rooster gets his second power play goal. Both of them on one-timers from the left circle. It's his third power play goal of the preseason. And the Grizzlies have cut into the lead. It's a 5-3 game. He is automatic from that circle. Jordan Martell have a preseason. I got a feeling he's going to have a big year for the Grizzlies. Not much celebrating for the Grizzlies. They know there's a lot of work to do here in tonight's game. As Cutler was on the right side, got it across to Martell. And before Thompson was able to react, it was in the back of the net. 2 goals for Martell tonight. Cutler's going to get an assist. Utah wins the face-off as we're skating 5-on-5 as Idaho dumps it in as Vandenberg chases after it. Taken by Jacob Semick, number 17. He was number 40 last year in the final month of the regular season. Battle behind the net. Idaho chips out in front. Shot to score. As A.J. White fed it out in front to Colton Keller. And Keller has made it a 6-3 game. Colton Keller salutes everybody on the Steelheads bench. As A.J. White was out there behind the net, he just kind of centered it out in front, and Keller was all alone. 6:43 left in the third, and Idaho has 6 goals on 30 shots here tonight. There's about 4 bodies out behind the net, and White just got it out in front as Idaho won a 2-on-2 battle, and Keller just put a top shelf over Giannuzzi. Grizzlies win the face-off, skating from left to right here in the third as Underwood will fire it off the far wing boards, taken by Canadi. Canadi wearing number 3. Ahead towards Rassel, who couldn't handle it. He chases after it, no icing. Kay Jensen gets there before Rassel as Underwood moves it ahead towards the slot for Betts, who skates down the middle. Left wing chip as Power drops it back off for Betts. Murphy cuts in front of him. Puck glides towards Thompson, who feeds it back to the far corner. Now it goes back towards Murphy, who slides to Canadi. 2-on-3. Canadi enters the zone. He'll skate towards the slot, takes a shot, and it's blocked by Underwood. Taken by Cole Gallant. Over to Kyle Betts. Back towards Underwood. As Underwood slides it towards the near side. Cole Gallant gets it at center. He crossed the red line. Gets to the Idaho blue line and dumps it in. As the Grizzlies make a line change. As register over to Nardella, who's got 2 assists tonight. Nardella gains center ice. Right wing chip to Niram, who trying to get it back towards Nardella. Nardella gets it as he's challenged by Mayhew, and he feeds it from one corner to the other as Donahue trying to get it back to the far corner and does so successfully as Fitz lifts it towards Niram. Niram gets it, throws it back to Fitz. As Grizzlies get it to neutralize, Spenner trying to get it back to Fitz, but he got a stick held up by Niram. Register takes the puck, he gets to center ice, and he wraps it around the boards. Giannuzzi cuts it off behind his net. 5:22 and counting left in the third, 6-3 Steelheads. Utah moves ahead to Fitz, who skates along the left wing. He crosses center ice, 3-on-2. Fitz over to Penner down the middle. Trying to get it back to Messner, and it kicks off an Idaho skate and goes back to neutral ice. Mayhew over to Fitz, who gets it the Idaho blue line. Fitz skates towards his right. He gets double-teamed, and he'll feed it to the right corner as Fitz at the end of his shift comes off the ice. He's replaced by Dylan Stewart. Idaho at their blue line moves to Jade Miller across the center ice logo. Now back to Becker, who drops it off for Miller. Right side gets to Heiskanen. He skates towards the right circle. Heiskanen back to Miller behind the net. He chips it to Becker, who swings and misses from the far corner as Becker throws it up top for Heiskanen, who fires it towards the near corner and chases after it. Semick gets there first. Heiskanen make that Svanenbergs with a big hit. Puck goes over to Cameron Cook, who crosses center ice. Cook gains the line. Canadi with a good poke check gets it away as it goes towards the far boards. Idaho clears it back to center. Grizzlies get it as Cade Jensen, who looks like a pretty good skater for a guy his size at 6'3", 218, moves ahead to Underwood. Pass ahead towards Stewart, who couldn't handle it. And it goes to Canadi, who gets towards center ice. He loses the puck as Cutler will try to get it to Martel. Canadi poked it away. Back near the Grizzlies bench, Murphy throws to Cooper Jones, who skates in from the right wing. Trying to get it back to Murphy. Yoon pokes it away. Goes to the right side. Colton Keller has it for Idaho. Now Canadi, right side, rolls it around the boards. It goes over the stick of Murphy, who tried to cut it off behind the net. Now Murphy to the left side gets it, throws to Keller. He's the left point, fires it off the boards. Jones couldn't get the puck as Martel falls down, and he gets to Brian Yoon behind Utah's net as Idaho will make a line change. So will the Grizzlies. Pass the center ice a little bit soft. Niram pokes it back towards Thompson. He'll let it go off the end boards as Register gets it. 3.5 minutes left in the third period. 6-3 Idaho. Donahue at neutral ice throws it towards Keller. It bounces off of him at center ice. Keller comes off the ice as Giannuzzi plays it behind his net. Giannuzzi throws to the far side as Mayhew will throw it towards center. Raby collides with Register, who will tap it off the far wing boards. Goes back to Raby as Utah skating from left to right here in the third period. Raby gets to center ice. He'll dump it into the corners. He gets checked by Pelton Bice. Raby with a big-time hit, and Bice is now back checking Raby along the back of the head. Donahue was over in the corner. Raby delivered a big hit on him. Donahue went down. He's back to his feet. And then Bice, as Raby was laying on Donahue, Bice just took a stick and kind of cross-checked Raby in the back of the head. Bice did it once, twice, 3 times, and then Kyle Betts came in to get Bice off of Raby. Raby goes to the box. So does Bice. Boarding looks like it's going to be the call for Raby, and Bice gets a cross-check. 3:05 left in the third period. Timeout on the ice. We'll find out how this one ends when we come back. The score is Idaho 6, Utah 3 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
3:05 left in the third. We'll skate 4-on-4 as Raby got what looked like a boarding call, and then Bice with a cross check. As Cutler checking his stick to see if it's broken. He'll be on the ice with Kyle Betts, Jordan Martell, and Kyle Mayhew. So 3 forwards and 1 defenseman for the Grizzlies. For Idaho, they've got Jade Miller taking the face off. Matt Register's out there. So is Mark Rassel. And Seamus Donahue. Or make that Colton. It is Donahue. 2 defensemen, 2 forwards for the Steelheads. Grizzlies have 2 power play goals from Jordan Martell, both of them identical one-timers from the left circle. Michael Underwood also within a goal, with Martell and Yoon getting the assists. As the puck in the near circle, won by Utah. As coming off the ice is Giannuzzi. 5-on-4, Utah's net is empty. Martell looking for the hat trick as he's on the left side up top for Mayhew. Over to Cutler, back to Martell. Martell gathers it. He'll take a righty shot, and it's blocked by Donahue. Now Cutler gets a high slot shot to score. Brandon Cutler went stick side and got it past Thompson. As Utah gets a 4-on-4 goal. It's the second 4-on-4 goal scored by the Grizzlies this weekend, and second 4-on-4 goal in this game as Idaho scored a 4-on-4 goal in the second period. So Cutler gets the goal. We'll continue to skate 4-on-4. Grizzlies fans behind their bench, ringing the cowbells, making a little bit of noise. It's Idaho 6, Utah 4. 2:47 left in the third. Giannuzzi back in net as Idaho wins the faceoff. As Canati throws it towards the boards off Idaho's bench. White couldn't get it as Betts slapped him with the stick. As Mayhew back towards Betts. 2:35 and counting left in the third as Betts gets to center ice. As now Betts enters the zone from the left point. Loses it as Nick Canati will tap it off the far glass. Giannuzzi is coming to the bench. 5-on-4, Utah's net is empty. 2:20 left in the third. As Mayhew throws to Martell, who's got 2 goals tonight. Martell gets the new try, drops off for Cutler, who crosses the center red line and veers off to the left. Cutler steps over the blue line and wraps it around the wall. As Fitz spins it back to the corner, cut off by Kudla. Kudla challenged by Kyle Betts. 2-on-2 battle in the corner as Cutler comes out with the puck and spins it towards the right point. Mayhew keeps it in and gets over to Betts. Now the Cutler on the right side. Cutler up top for Mayhew. Less than 2 minutes left. Back to Cutler on the right side as Cutler over towards Betts. He has it collide. Now Fitz with a shot saved by Thompson. Becker gets it. He gets blasted by Betts. Martell skates over there. Becker gets tripped up. Now gets back to his feet and gets the puck to Heiskanen, who will fire towards the empty net, and he scores. That's a 200-foot goal as Cody Heiskanen was deep in the Steelhead zone on the far side and with great accuracy found the middle of the empty net. It's the Steelheads kicking the extra point. It's a 7-4 game. He did score from about 200 feet and that angle from the corner towards the net. An impressive goal by Cody Heiskanen, albeit on an empty net. And that one had some steam to it as well. Still skating 4-on-4 for the next 29 seconds. 1:33 is left in regulation as Idaho leads 7-4. Draw won by Idaho as Patrick Kudla gets hit by Underwood. Idaho still with the puck as Heiskanen back in his own zone. Moves it ahead to Niram at center ice. Niram gets challenged by Yoon, but Niram's able to dump it in. As Giannuzzi behind his net throws to Yoon, out of Penner. He's over to the far side. Puck glides towards Giannuzzi. Yoon moves it ahead. Cole Gallant, one-on-one, skates towards the left circle, being challenged by Jones. Gallant looks to center at the Penner, cutting towards the net. Now Yoon gets it. He skates over the puck, and Jade Miller gets it for Idaho. He'll lightly tap it into the Grizzlies zone as Idaho makes a line change. 1 minute left in the third. We're back to 5-on-5 skating here. As puck goes over to Tyler Penner at the Utah blue line. He moves it ahead, passes wide of Cole Gallant. As Nardella lifts it high into the air, it bounces in the near circle where it's taken by Jensen. They'll throw it across to Underwood around the net. As Underwood to Stewart. Dylan Stewart, number 3, gets back checked by Murphy, but moves it ahead to Penner. As Penner backhands it into the Steelhead zone, as Aaron Aragon with good speed chases after it. They'll drop it off for Canati. Nick Canati out towards center ice. He gets around Dean Ukura. Canati loses the puck as Semick throws it across towards Jensen, who gets the neutral ice for Cook, who tried to find Stewart at center ice. Didn't get much on the pass. Nardella out of neutral ice, crosses center. He'll backhand it in as Nardella goes to the bench for the last time. As Aaron Aragon slashed Cameron Cook as they were near the bench area at center ice. However, it's Cook that's going to get the penalty. Cook with a cross check with 11 seconds left in regulation. So Idaho's going to end the night on the power play. Idaho 7, Utah 4 here in the second and final preseason game for both teams. Idaho will host Allen next weekend, beginning on Friday. Utah 7 days from now takes on Tulsa at Maverick Center. Franklin with a shot looking for the hat trick, and it goes wide. Now, shot at the buzzer by Bice, and that's saved by Giannuzzi, and that will do it. Idaho wins 7-4. Grizzlies got 2 goals from Jordan Martell, but 2 Zane Franklin goals. Grizzlies won the special teams battle, but Idaho really just hung in there for a good offensive final 40 minutes of play. Neither team scored in the first period, and yet we ended up with a high-scoring affair. Final score here from Idaho Central Arena, the Steelheads 7 and the Grizzlies 4. Postgame show starts in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Idaho 7, Utah 4, as both teams went 1-1 in the preseason. Last night, Utah won 6-0 as Garrett Metcalf got a 39-save shutout. Tonight, Idaho returns the favor, winning 7-4. Grizzlies outscored the Steelheads 10-7 in the 2 preseason games. Neither team scored in the first period. Idaho had 10 shots to Utah's 5. The Rooster, Jordan Martell, looks like he's poised to have an outstanding season. He scored 3 power play goals this weekend, including 2 tonight. Martell, all 3 goals in the preseason were identical. One-timers from the left circle on the Grizzlies' power play. And he did that 1:18 into the second with Kyle Mayhew and Dakota Raby getting the assist. 11 seconds after Martell scored first for Utah, Zane Franklin tied it up at 1 as he scored 1:29 in. Nick Nardella and Aaron Aragon with the assists. Idaho extended the lead to 2-1 as Ty Pelton-Bice scored a 4-on-4 goal with Matt Register and Patrick Kudla getting the assists. Cooper Jones is the number 3 star of the game, and he made it 3-1 as he scored with 15 seconds left in the second period. Kudla and Pelton-Bice with the assists. Idaho led 3-1 after 2 periods. Ty Pelton-Bice is the second star tonight. Cooper Jones, the third star. Bice made it 2-1. Bice ended up with 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. The number 1 star is Zane Franklin, who had 2 goals and was a +2 for the Steelheads. Idaho, early in the third period, extended the lead to 4-1 as Wade Murphy scored 2:28 in with Donahue and Becker getting the assist. That was a power play goal for Idaho. They led 4-1 at that point, and then Zane Franklin extended the lead to 5-1 as he scored 2:54 in. So the first 2 goals in the third period for Idaho were scored 26 seconds apart. Franklin's 2:54 in with Aragon and Nardella getting the assists. Grizzlies continued to battle. A 4-on-4 goal was scored by Utah as, oddly enough, the stat sheet hasn't given an assist to Brian Yoon, but Yoon was in the high slot, took a shot that got redirected by Michael Underwood. Underwood was about halfway from the blue line to the goal line, tapped off his stick, and somehow the puck had enough English and kind of that wobbling spin that ended up in the back of the net. Looked like Brandon Cutler was net front closer to the goaltender Thompson, and Underwood gets credited with the goal. Now, mind you, it's preseason. None of the stats are going to count as of next week, but Underwood with the goal, Martell and Yoon with the assists. Grizzlies scored again as Grizzlies got back on the power play, and for the second time tonight and third time in the preseason, it was a one-timer from the left circle for Jordan Martell with Brandon Cutler and Kyle Mayhew getting the assist. That made it a 5-3 game. Idaho answered back rather quickly. 19 seconds after Martell scored his second of the night, A.J. White behind the net found a wide-open Colton Keller, and the pass connected. And once Keller got the puck, it was one-on-one between Keller and Giannuzzi, and Keller scored his first of the preseason. White and Svanenbergs with the assists. That made it a 6-3 game. Grizzlies later on in the third period scored with Cutler getting his first of the preseason. Martell and Mayhew with the assists. So how about the night for Jordan Martell? He ended up with 2 goals and 2 assists. Mayhew with that Cutler goal scored his third assist of the night. That made it 6-4. And then Idaho, Cody Haskinen scored from about 200 feet away. It's 200 feet, and then that angle from the far corner, and he was able to get the puck in the back of the, or even really just kind of split the middle of the empty net as he scored 18-27 into the third, and that was all she wrote as Idaho got their 7th goal of the night, and they win 7-4. Great individual performances for the Grizzlies, as we mentioned before. Mayhew with 3 assists, Martell with 2 goals and 2 assists. Brandon Cutler had 1 goal and 1 assist. Among the plus-minus, Michael Underwood was a +1. Looked like he was the only Grizzly that was a positive in the plus-minus category. For Idaho, 2 goals for Zane Franklin. He was the number 1 star tonight. The number 2 star was Ty Pelton-Bice, who had 1 goal and 1 assist and a +3 rating. The number 3 star tonight was Cooper Jones, who had 1 goal and was a +2. Aaron Aragon and Patrick Cudlup each had 2 assists for the Steelheads. Getting the win in net, even though it is a preseason game, obviously, but a win nonetheless for Brian Thompson, who stopped 16 of 20. Wasn't necessarily a great game, just an 80% save percentage, but he gets the victory tonight. Dante Giannuzzi, right now the box score has him listed at 24 of 31, but that 7th goal was on an empty net. So Giannuzzi stopping 24 of 30 in his pro debut. Giannuzzi and Garrett Metcalf. Looks like to start the season will be the Grizzlies goaltending tandem. Hard to really say if the Grizzlies are going to get another goalie from the Colorado Eagles. Hard to say. I mean, Trent Miner did get the start for the Eagles last night, stopping 22 of 25. And for Idaho, they had that 3-headed monster last year, and I think that Steelheads fans are going to be looking at their goaltending situation because Schill, Kupski, and Remy Poirier are not with the Steelheads right now. It's the combination of Brian Thompson, who got the win tonight. Last night it was Caden Fulcher, who stopped 33, or I think it was like 32 of 38 in last night's game as Utah won 6-0 in Idaho Falls. Well, looks like the battle will begin starting a week from now. The 72-game marathon. Grizzlies will take on the Tulsa Oilers 7 days from now, October 21st. It's going to be a 7:10 start. Pregame coverage begins at 6:50. We'll have video coverage on Flow Sports, the exclusive streaming provider of the ECHL. And audio will be on YouTube for the second straight year. Idaho will begin the regular season on Friday, October 20th, with a 7:10 start against the Allen Americans. Probably going to be a sellout here in Idaho. They will raise the Western Conference Championship banner that they won. It's their first Western Conference Championship banner since the 08-07 season, if I see it right on the wall there on the left side of the arena. And they'll raise the conference championship banner here on opening night against Allen. We're talking about the last 2 division winners meeting tonight. Grizzlies 2 years ago winning the division, and Idaho last season. These teams will meet 14 times in the regular season beginning on Friday, October 27th. That's the first AFCU Friday of the regular season. And you're not going to want to miss any of those 14 games. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. The best rivalry in the league, and we saw some heat in the second period when Nick Canati fought Jordan Stone. saw a little bit of physical action throughout. And if that's the preseason, what are we going to get 2 weeks from now at Maverick Center? It's going to be a lot of fun. Go to the new and improved UtahGrizzlies.com to get your tickets for the upcoming season. The Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers to begin a 7-game homestand. That's going to be Saturday, October 21st. I think Hosier's in the building Friday, October 20th, or the Grizzlies probably would have started that day. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of good events at Maverick Center. I think the Grizzlies are going to be a fun team to watch. And I think even though Idaho won 7-4, the third period, even though the scoreboard got a little bit lopsided there, I mean, Idaho had a 5-1 lead at one point. Grizzlies didn't quit. They scored the 3 third period goals, and they kept battling till the end. Even though Idaho got the victory, I think Grizzlies fans have to be very encouraged by what they have seen. Even though there was a loss tonight, Grizzlies really battled hard. And remember, the Grizzlies were without 2 really good defensemen. Josh Wesley is an outstanding talent. He didn't play tonight. He's got about 300 games of pro experience, and the same can be said for Keone Teixeira, who's entering his 6th season in the ECHL. He spent the last 4 years with the Indy Fuel. His first year, he played against the Grizzlies 6 times as a member of the Wichita Thunder. He was probably Wichita's best defenseman that year. He led the Fuel with a +19 rating last season, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. He'll be wearing number 74. Wesley will be wearing number 20. Those guys were out of the lineup, and not to make any excuses, but the Grizzlies were rolling with 5 defensemen there for the second half of the game after Stone got the game misconduct. It's going to be a strong defensive unit. If last night's any indication, even tonight, I think as the season goes along, I think first-year pros like Michael Underwood and Brian Yoon will just continue to get better and better. We see it every year with first-year pros. Regardless of what happens early in the season, it seems like by mid-season, those rookies end up coming into their own. And I think it's going to be a good defensive unit. Metcalf looked like he was pretty strong, and he came in great shape, and he's poised to have an outstanding year. And the Grizzlies have some great forwards. I mean, what about Jordan Martell here this weekend? I think that's just kind of I don't know if prelude's the right word. I mean, I wasn't necessarily an English major or a math major or really a major at anything except for sports trivia. Either way, I think Martell is going to have an outstanding year. We've already counted 3 one-timers from the left circle on the power play. How many is he going to get in the regular season? It's hard to say. I imagine at some point teams are going to start just putting 2 guys on Martell, at least one guy, and saying, he's your guy. Don't let him get a shot off. I mean, Dastu all year long a couple years ago was just able to get one-timer after another from the right circle, especially on Utah's power play. And I got a feeling, who knows how many games Martell's going to play, because he might find himself in the AHL. He keeps playing the way he is here. I think Martell's poised to have an outstanding season. That top forward line this weekend, Martell, Dakota Raby, and Brandon Cutler, that's got a ton of potential. That can end up being one of the best forward lines in the league. And so the Grizzlies and their fans have a lot to hope for here in the regular season, and there's a lot of reason to be optimistic going forward. Well, that'll wrap things up here tonight. I think Idaho's going to have a pretty strong team as well, especially since they had, kind of that full complement tonight with A.J. White and Matt Register back in the lineup. It's going to be a fun division. Allen looks like they're going to be pretty strong. And I think if Kansas City, Tulsa, or Wichita, if they get the goaltending, I think they could be pretty strong. And I think Rapid City is going to have a bounce back here with their third-year head coach, Scott Burt, as last year they got a lot of help from their new affiliate, the Calgary Flames. And it looks like they're going to get a lot of help once again this season. Well, that's all she wrote for the preseason. I better pack up the gear so I don't miss the bus, headed back to the Salt Lake Valley. Join us for this 72-game journey beginning next Saturday as the Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. And even if there's some football games you want to watch next Saturday, just DVR them, because there's nothing like live hockey in the arena. We got some exciting action next week as the Grizzlies start off the season with 7 straight home games. They take on the Tulsa Oilers next Saturday. Well, until next Saturday, remember the pregame show is going to be at 6:50, face-off at 7:10. It's kind of weird, that fan right in front of me, he thought I was Cam McGuire, I think. He took his hand out when the Steelheads scored a goal like in the second period. He wanted me to high-five him. You feel bad. You don't want to leave anybody hanging, so I kind of gave him a little tap there. Third period, though, I wasn't going to have it. When Franklin made it 5-1, I had to be I took the headset off. I'm like, I'm with the Grizzlies, and he didn't talk to me the rest of the night. That was it for him. He never looked back at me, didn't do anything. That's one of those things on those remote broadcasts you don't get. You don't get interaction with the visiting fans like that, or the fans that are on the home side there. That's part of what I enjoy about being live in the arena, especially here in Boise, which really is a fun environment, game in and game out. Well, I better end this thing now, or else I'm going to miss the bus. We'll talk next Saturday. Hopefully Tim Broussard will be by my side as well, and we'll have a lot of fun. Don't forget, on my SoundCloud page on Tuesday, we're going to have a Grizzlies talk show. We'll go over some highlights from the 2 preseason games, or preview the upcoming season. That's on my SoundCloud page at Tyson on Sports. That's going to be on Tuesday. I'll send the link out on my social media accounts. I'm on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, at Tyson on Sports. I'm also sort of on Threads, sort of not, because I'm not sure Threads is any good. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram as well. Until Saturday, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is once again, I'll try that again. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is Grizzlies lose 7-4 to the Idaho Steelheads. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it really is what it is.